22-year-old business owner William Joe Schwartfeger is suing his ex-girlfriend's father, truck driver Warren Day, for a false restraining order. Warren says he was trying to keep William away from his 16-year-old daughter, and he is countersuing for his legal fees.
Fire to the courtroom, please. Now this is case number 70 on the calendar in the matter of Schwartfeger versus Day. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Schwartfeger?
That's correct.
How old are you, sir?
22.
Bert, I want you to pay careful attention. We're going to go over this scorecard so that you know who the players are in this case.
Gotcha.
Because I have a feeling it's going to be interesting. Who is this young lady?
That is my girlfriend, Sarah Buckley.
What does she have to do with this case?
She is a witness to the harassment, the vandalism to my vehicle, and she's also known the defendant and his daughters for about 5 to 6 years.
How long have you been his girlfriend?
Since November.
So a short-term girlfriend.
Yes.
Mr. Day, these are your two daughters.
That's correct.
Your name is?
Samantha.
How old are you, Samantha?
17.
And your name?
Kathleen.
How old are you, Kathleen?
22.
Kathleen, why don't you stand up next to your dad for a minute? Because we're going to get this whole scenario down here. Kathleen, you used to be his girlfriend, is that right?
Yes.
For how long were you his girlfriend?
Almost 4 years.
You have children with him?
2.
How old are your two children?
One just turned 3 and one's about 18 months.
Did you live together for a period of time?
Yeah.
For how long?
About 3 of those 4 years.
And how old were you when you started to live with him?
18.
Now you can sit down.
Thank you.
I may come back to you, but right now you can sit. This is what your lawsuit's about, William. According to you, you were being a good Samaritan. And at some point, you took in Mr. Day's younger daughter.
That's correct.
Into your home because you say she was having some trouble with her dad.
Both parents, Your Honor.
Both parents?
Yes.
Now, at the time that you took her into your house, were you still living with Kathleen?
No, I wasn't.
So Kathleen wasn't living with you anymore with your two children. She had left you. You had parted ways.
Right.
But Samantha came to live with you, and at that time, Samantha was 16.
That's right.
Mr. Day didn't like that.
Not at all, ma'am.
You didn't like what happened with your first daughter,
That's correct.
and you for sure didn't like what happened with your second daughter.
That's very correct.
So what did you do, Mr. Day?
Well, Mr. Shortfigure hit Samantha in the mouth.
After she was living with him?
Yes.
Okay, let's stop there for a moment. What date did your daughter leave your home?
April 13th.
Of 2003?
Yes. It wasn't my home she was, though. She was still with her mother at that time.
You and her mother are separated?
Yes.
In any event, this is what your lawsuit is about, William. The lawsuit says that Mr. Day filed false charges against you for child endangerment, protective orders, causing you to have to hire an attorney, legal fees, and everything that he said about you was false, and you want to be compensated to the tune of $1,954.
That's correct.
Mr. Day, just for good measure, says, well, he wants some money too because you caused him to lose work and attorney's fees because he had to hire an attorney in order to get certain orders reinstated. He wants some money. I think most of what he wants is satisfaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, William, tell me about when Kathleen left your house with your two children.
We were living together until December of 2002, I believe.
And how old were your children at that point?
The one was 3 months, and the other one was a little over 2 years old. Or, I'm sorry, she had not turned 2 yet.
And why did she leave?
We were having problems in our relationship. We've had an on and off relationship for the last 4.5 to 5 years, so...
It was during the odd periods that you had these children?
Yeah.
Was it an amicable breakup?
Pretty much.
And you continue to see the children?
Yes, on a regular basis.
And you continue to support the children?
That's right. I pay child support every week.
For both children?
That's right.
Okay. And where did Kathleen go when she left?
Actually, she stayed in the apartment that we shared.
And you left?
That's right.
So far, is that correct, Kathleen?
No.
Well, why don't you come up here and tell me what happened? Because this is all very important as far as Mr. Day's state of mind when he filed his complaints. When did you and William separate?
December of 2002.
Under what circumstances?
He was sleeping with my sister.
And how did you find that out, Kathleen?
I found notes.
Did you keep the notes?
My mom has them right now.
You get along with your mother?
Yeah.
Should have brought the notes to court.
I know she won't give them to me. She said it's an embarrassment to our children.
What did the notes say? First
They
of all,
were-
who wrote the notes?
He did.
Remember what they said?
It said Samantha down the side. It said sexy, amazing, mind-blowing, awesome, naughty, terrific, hot, and a dream come true.
Did you confront William with the note?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said they wrote it as a joke, together.
And when was that?
About 2 weeks before Christmas, December 2002.
You remember that conversation, William?
Yes, I do.
So you told Kathleen, the mother of your two children, that the note that you wrote that talked about sexy, naughty, etc., with regard to her sister, her 16-year-old sister, was just joking around.
Well, I write a lot of poetry. And that was-
Joking around.
Yeah.
That's what you told her.
Yeah, I said we wrote it together. Yes.
Oh. Shh, please. You left.
I left for the day, but I stayed in the apartment. I asked him to leave.
And did he leave?
He left after a few days.
And that was in December.
That's correct.
When did Samantha come to live with you, sir?
In April of 2003.
And where were you living at the time?
I just got an apartment, and I had an extra bedroom, so I figured, you know.
How did Samantha know that you had an extra bedroom?
Well, we stayed in contact. Kathleen and I weren't talking at the time, so I used Samantha as a mediator to, you know, see my children and to make sure that they were doing okay.
You said you saw your children regularly, so what do you mean you needed a mediator?
Well, at first, the visitation wasn't every weekend like it is now. Like I said, Kathleen and I weren't on speaking terms at that time.
You weren't on speaking terms because she believed that you were having intimate relations with a 16-year-old sister. That a
Yeah.
fair statement?
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. William Joe Schwartfager says his ex-girlfriend's father, Warren Day, owes for attorney fees and harassment. Warren says after William broke up with Kathleen, he had an affair with her 16-year-old sister.
Now tell me what Mr. Day did with regard to his 16-year-old daughter moving in with you.
Nothing at first. Samantha and Mr. Day weren't on speaking terms when it first happened.
She was living with her mother.
That's right, and she was having problems with her mother. She was, you know, living in and out of her friend's house, you know, running away from her house, not going to school, stuff like that.
Between December and April, did you see Samantha?
We met up a couple times.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
How many times would you estimate you saw Samantha?
About once a week, maybe.
Could it have been twice a week?
It wasn't like everyday basis that she was over at where I was at, but
I didn't say every day,
Well-
William. You said once a week. And what I said to you is, could it have been twice a week?
it might have been a couple weeks that she came over more than once, yes.
And when she would come over, would she stay for an hour or two?
She'd stay for a couple hours.
And what would you do when she came over?
We'd hang out with the kids, talk about when the next time I get to see them, you know, where we were going to meet to get the kids and everything else. So,
When did Mr. Day file the first of his protective orders?
in July.
You have a copy of it?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
This paper is also the ruling after the
Just
case.
a second. So he filed a protective order indicating that in July you hit Samantha in the mouth.
That's right.
July 2003, Samantha. Were you living with William at the time?
Yes,
Did he hit you in the mouth?
yes.
Under what circumstances?
I came home and him and his friends had been drinking and we got into an argument. At that time, we went into the bedroom. He took me into the bedroom. His friends stayed in the other room and one thing led to another. He actually picked me up, threw me into the table, and that's how I busted my lip open.
So he didn't hit you in the mouth, he picked you up and threw you into a
Yes.
table, which caused you to hurt your lip. And what did you do in July when he did that to you?
Well, we kept fighting. He actually left. I called my friends to come get me because he took my keys and threw them in the dumpster. And he came back and he was being very rude to my friends, and then I left. And then 2 days later, I think, is when they actually filed the protection order.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living with Joe, but I was staying with my friend Stephanie after we got in an argument.
So you were living with him.
Yes.
What kind of an apartment did he have?
It was a 2-bedroom apartment.
Who else lived there?
Just me and him.
Did you have your own bedroom?
No.
Did you share the bedroom with him?
Yes.
For how long?
Ever since we moved in. We actually got the apartment together. He didn't have it when we're together.
You went to court in August of 2003. Do you remember going to court in August of 2003? Did the judge ask you any questions?
Yes.
Why did you lie to the judge?
Because I thought that I was in love, and I was scared. He told me what to say, and I said what he said to say.
Had you gone back to him at the time?
We were on a restraining order, so we couldn't see each other, but yeah, we were still together.
Were you speaking to him?
Not during the protection order.
Did you tell your father that you were going to not tell the truth when the judge asked you questions?
Yes.
What did he say?
Not much. He told me I better tell the truth.
Is that right, sir?
That is correct, ma'am.
When your 16-year-old daughter got to court, you didn't tell the truth. Is that right?
That's correct.
And this, William, is what you're really suing over, this case that was dismissed.
Yeah, that's part of the lawsuit, yes.
Tell me what the other part is.
In February, he filed another protective order against me. Samantha had moved out in late October, and I didn't understand why he was...
So she came back to you after this original protective order, and she moved out again in late October?
That's right. She moved back into my house probably about a month after the case, and then she quit her job, stopped going to school, and those were, I told her if she was going to live with me, she had to keep her job, go to school, and then later on my car got vandalized.
Who do you think vandalized your car, sir?
Samantha. We do have audio tapes that were gone over by the county attorney.
Don't tell me what audio tapes were gone over by anybody else, sir. That's hearsay.
Okay.
Do you have any witness to Samantha vandalizing your car?
Samantha's older sister, Kathleen, she was the one that actually told me that it was Samantha that vandalized
that right?
my car.
No.
What did you say to him?
I said it wasn't my brother, and it wasn't my sister.
Well, I don't
and
know
there's
what
a lot
you
of people that hate you, so...
Yeah. I can think of 3 right there. Maybe 4. William, I'm going to tell you a word that you probably don't know. Interestingly enough, Officer Byrd knows this word, because when I say the word, he's going to understand, as will a lot of other people, because I'm going to explain the word to you. The word, William, is chutzpah. Do you know what chutzpah means, Byrd?
Sure.
Chutzpah means nerve. You got a lot of nerve to put on a suit and tie, bring your girlfriend into a court to sue this man after you made 2 babies with one of his children irresponsibly. Now, you're only partially responsible for that, but you're half responsible for that. And then his daughter finds out that you're messing around with her 16-year-old sister, and she leaves you. Or you leave. She tells you to leave. And then you invite her 16-year-old sister to move into your house, the 2 sisters, like you live in Utah. And then you have the chutzpah to sue him as a parent for getting angry with you because his daughter tells him, not only am I sleeping with him, but he picked me up, he got angry when he was drinking, threw me against the table, and split my lip. You have a daughter, sir?
Yes, I got 2 daughters.
All right. You have 2 daughters?
3.
3?
Yes.
Who's the 3rd?
My oldest daughter, she's 7, but she's not by the day.
And how old are you, 22?
That's right.
You better get a lock for it.
That's already been fixed, Alan.
William, I don't want to look at you for another second. Your case is dismissed. Mr. Day, have you gotten the satisfaction that you wanted?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't need a counterclaim, do you?
No, I don't really know.
Very good. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's been hard. It's been hard for me not to do something else besides go to court on it. It really has.
I was just trying to get the attorney bills that Mr. Day has racked up on my behalf, cleared up.
This man has been like a dingleberry on my butt.
It didn't destroy any credibility. It's another day.
He doesn't think about other people's feelings, how he hurt me, how he hurt her, and how he's probably going to hurt Sarah, too.
She was like a little sister to me the whole time.
You could talk the panties off a nun.
The girl that's with him right now, Sarah Buckley,
Is my best friend.
and used to live in my house as my 3rd, adopted daughter.
So he's on the 3rd one now.
Yeah.
We're actually a lot closer than we were, and we just really hate him now.
Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah, this is her freebie. If she does it again, then it's done.
And now the next case is suing her former landlord, retired police officer James Farrar, for an assault. James is countersuing, claiming Andrea assaulted him.
All rise. Quiet in the courtroom, please. Yeah, this is case number 143 on the calendar in the matter of Hughes versus Farrar. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Ms. Hughes, you were a tenant in an apartment complex that was managed by the defendant.
Correct.
And it is your claim that he assaulted you.
Yes.
Mr. Farrar says that you was served with an eviction notice, and you, in fact, assaulted him and one of his employees. He is counterclaiming. How long had you been living in this complex?
I lived in that complex for approximately 2 years and about 4 months.
And who did you live with?
A roommate of mine.
When did Mr. Farrar come to work at the complex?
December 19th of 03. And the incident with Mr. Farrar and me happened on January 23rd of 04.
So describe the incident, please.
I was walking out of my apartment on January 23rd, and Mr. Farrar, I noticed that a balled up piece of paper hit me in the back. I turned around, and I seen him, along with one of his witnesses over there.
Which one?
Mrs. Farrar. Now, they said they're separated.
Who was Mrs. Farrar?
That's the first one there.
Okay.
Okay, and I turned around, and I said, "Did you throw that paper at me? You're so childish." And he followed me into the underground parking lot, antagonizing me, just taunting me, saying a lot of different things to me. I can't wait till you get out of here. You know, he started to say, I have a recorder in my pocket. I'm going to try to get you arrested, you know. So I kind of rushed and got in my car. I was very afraid of this man. I couldn't even leave anywhere. I was so distraught. I went back into my house once I knew they were out of the underground parking lot.
So you were sitting in your car, and then you decided not to go out anymore, and you went back up to your apartment.
Yes, to go tell my roommate what happened.
Go ahead.
I went to go walk my dog. A lady out of the office came out and said, are you supposed to be walking your dog up front? What are you doing up here? And 5 minutes later, out of nowhere, this gentleman came and placed me into this chokehold.
You mean he just came out of nowhere?
He came out of nowhere. I did not see him coming. That's the whole thing about it. I didn't have an opportunity to even touch him with my pinky if I wanted to.
Okay, so he came up from behind you.
He came up from, yes. From the
came up from behind you and placed you in a chokehold.
Yes.
What happened next?
Ma'am, he had me so tight. I was in and out of consciousness. I remember being slammed onto the floor. I remember that woman right there, Mrs. Farrar, kicking my keys, kicking my shoes because my shoes fell off. And he's screaming penal codes, telling her to go call the police. She needs to get arrested for this or that and the other. And
what kind of documentation do you have, Miss Hughes?
I have the pictures with my assault bruises that I had. I have my, I went to the emergency room, and I have...
I'd like to see everything that you have.
Okay.
Gotcha. Now, you are not still living at the complex, is that right? When did you move?
3 days after that incident on 123.
Had you been previously served with an eviction notice?
Yes.
When?
November, the beginning of November.
November of 2003.
Yes.
Prior to him beginning employment there, you were served with an eviction notice for what?
Payment due.
You had not paid rent?
Correct.
How long had you not paid rent?
It was 2 months, actually.
Any reason why you didn't pay rent?
Well, my roommate could not come up with her half. Her mother just died. She was going through a lot of financial problems, and I could not fork her half of the rent.
So you didn't pay anything?
No, they would not accept any partial payments, ma'am.
Well, you could have paid if in October you didn't pay your half. In November, you could have paid your half of November and your half of October. That would have been a whole month.
Yeah, that's true.
So you decided if your roommate couldn't pay anything, you weren't going to pay anything either. Is that right?
Basically.
Basically. Okay. All right, Mr. Farrar, let me hear your version of these events, sir.
Well, if she's right, we did go down into the garage, and I was with Norma.
Who's Norma?
Norma's my former wife and now an employee. We were married 20 years ago. And I already had an altercation with her about a week before that.
What kind of an altercation?
About 8 policemen were coming out of her apartment, and I went over to the apartment to find out what had happened. And she lit a cigarette. She said, "It's none of your business," and threw it in my face. And then her roommate pulled her back in and shut the door.
Don't speak. Don't
pulled
speak.
her back in and shut the door. So I checked with some of the fellows in the police department to find out what had been going on in that apartment, and I found out that there was a numerous calls there, something like 41 calls in 2 years.
You have the
Yes,
log
I do.
of those calls?
I do. I have
What
some
were the
of them.
calls for, Miss Hughes?
Oh, I'd like to see him myself, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him myself. The day that he's talking about,
No, I'm
the day
not-
the
I'm
police
talking
did
about-
come,
And
my
there's your,
8-year-old daughter
there's your-
called the police
Listen
by
to me,
accident.
Miss Hughes. I didn't
but
ask you.
I like a
I
log of
didn't-
the 41 calls.
I didn't ask you about the day. I said I'm just asking you whether...
One of them involved weapons.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Andrea Hughes claims she was assaulted by her former landlord, James Farrar. James says Andrea is looking for a free ride.
There are a lot of calls here to your apartment, madam.
You know, I personally have seen the police at my house twice.
Good. Okay, that's all. Would you please tell me what happened on January 23rd, 04, sir? You and your wife followed her down to the garage for any particular ex-wife, for any particular reason?
Yeah, I was going down there to look at some work being done on the elevators. We had the elevators remodeled. They were in bad shape. And her car was to the right. I was going to the left. She got in the car, and she opened the trunk, or she got to the trunk area, opened the trunk, and started throwing stuff out into the garage area. And then, of course, there was a lot of bad, blistering language going on at the time in reference to my previous marriage with Norma. She got in her car and peeled out, went out the gate. That's the last I saw of her. So I finished checking on the work, went back up to the office area.
Listen to me. I don't want you to say anything.
Wow.
I went back over to the other garage where the manager at that time, Stellar On, was we're waiting for her to come. So Stellar pulls in, maybe 10 minutes after she left, not even that. So we left, went back to the office area, and there she was with a dog. And the dog was urinating on the planter at the time. She was smoking a cigarette and had the door open. That day, she had a TRO dropped by Stellar On.
Who's Stellar On?
She was the existing manager at the time.
So the existing manager of the building had a restraining order against Miss Hughes?
Yes.
May I see a copy of it, please?
I don't have it because they dropped it because she
They
couldn't
dropped it
articulate.
twice.
But I do have 2 restraining orders on tenants
They
of the
dropped it
building.
twice.
Yeah, I see them, please.
Sure. These are people she assaulted during her tenancy there. These are still enforced, by the way. 2 of my witnesses that couldn't make it today.
I have temporary restraining orders issued. You were the defendant, Miss Hughes. The protected persons are somebody by the name of Sean and Adam.
We had parking issues there in underground parking.
Okay. Shh. I just asked you.
Yes,
question.
correct.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Farrar.
Anyways, I came back, and she was talking to Stellar at the time, at first, and Stellar told her to put her dog on a leash. And she said, with a cigarette, right at Stellar, I don't have to do any damn thing I don't want to do. And I'm going to leave out the profanity as best I can. But it would have blistered the doggone walls of this room. It's that bad. So I asked her, please leave the area, go to your apartment. We had mothers and children.
Whatever.
coming.
You told her to
Okay.
get. You told her to get out, and I wouldn't.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I
told her to get
go
out.
back to her apartment and get out of there. So
Go ahead.
3 or 4
Go.
times. Finally, she said she wasn't going to leave. And I placed her under citizen's arrest for 415 PC, which is disturbance of peace.
Okay.
I told Stellar to call the Torrance Police Department and have them roll.
And
At that point, I'm standing here, she's standing there, the office corner is here, Norma's here, and Stellar's looking around the corner. She tried to step around me going towards the direction of the 2 managers. I did what I instinctively been trained to do. I stood in her way. And when I did, her body went
They
into me.
didn't train you to put a chokehold on someone,
Hughes,
sir, and
Miss
take them to
Hughes,
the ground.
Miss Hughes.
That's not what the police
We don't play
department
softball.
trained you to do.
Do you see how quiet he was when you were speaking?
He's thinking of his lies very good.
Madam, you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and slapped you in the face. So you put her in a chokehold, and that's what she's complaining about. Is that right?
Correct.
You got a bad temper, Miss Hughes. Everybody who has contact with you seems to have a problem with you, and you have no problem with anybody. You had no problem with the prior building managers. You have no problem with the tenants.
I know I had
No,
never
you have
had
any
any
problem. And you had no problem paying your rent, and you had no problem living like a good tenant. You had no problem at all.
Me paying my rent doesn't have anything to do with me physically getting harmed, ma'am.
Oh, yes, it does, madam. Yes, it does. There's a certain entitlement that one thinks that one has when you believe that you can take property, take things that don't belong to you without payment, like a place to live, and say, sue me. Go ahead. It's going to take you 3-4 months to get me out of this apartment. Meanwhile, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to make a big, fat pain in the for myself, which is exactly what you did. Exactly. Because when you were telling me your side of the story, I was listening. I was perfectly prepared to listen to you and to say maybe this man overextended, maybe this man who was a former police officer or a peace officer got a little carried away with himself. But I was watching you testify, and you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and bit you in the behind. And I want to tell you something. You're not going to take advantage of the judicial system by seeking redress in the court for something that your bad behavior started. So your lawsuit's dismissed. Now, I'm going to get to your counterclaim. But for the fact that she filed this lawsuit, would you be here today?
No.
Good. So let's say goodbye to each other. She's no longer a tenant, is that right?
That's
Goodbye,
right.
your case is dismissed, and your counterclaim is withdrawn. Thank you very much.
That's so great in your lives. You were so great. I was a very good tenant. He was the one that just came aboard. I'd been there for 2.5 years. If I wasn't a good tenant, I wouldn't have been there that long.
She actually had most of the building in fear, and this is a 90-unit building.
There's no criminal charges against anyone that lived in that household. Rather, there was 100 of 911 phone calls.
She's being sentenced tomorrow morning for a felony, domestic violence, where she took a knife to her roommate.
That man assaulted me, and he knows he assaulted me. He knows he snuck up on me and assaulted me for no reason at all.
It's just a pity that a young woman her age can't control her rage and her anger, that tries to intimidate her way through life, and this is what she's been doing. And Judge Judy saw right through it.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Frederick versus Franks. Step forward.
23-year-old student Pamela Frederick is suing her ex-boyfriend, bartender Christopher Franks, for several unpaid loans. Pamela says Christopher signed an IOU.
Ms. Frederick, it is your claim that the defendant, who lived with you for about a year or so, owed you several $1,000s, that it accumulated over the entire time you were together. You kept very careful track of that money because you are very efficient. And at the time that you and the defendant broke up, he signed an IOU, which he has not honored. Now, Mr. Frank says that all the money that you gave him were in the form of
a gift.
And that he acknowledges he signed this promissory note, but says he was very, 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 very
intoxicated.
And doesn't really know what he was signing. So what evening was it, sir, that you signed this note?
It was a Thursday night.
And you remember it was a Thursday because?
I usually go up to my place of business to watch Friends. It was showing the last the episodes of Friends, so we'd go up there and watch it with some girlfriends of mine.
This is how you gauge your life?
No, well, it was better than staying at home.
So you were going up to watch Friends on Thursday night?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you, in fact, go up to watch this episode of Friends with your friends?
Yes, I did.
What time did you get home?
I want to believe maybe 11:30.
Well, I wasn't there, so you have to tell me.
It was around 11:30.
Did you drive home?
Yes, I did.
When did you start to drink?
Probably around 8 o'clock.
8 p.m. you started to drink. And how far away is the home where you watched Friends with your friends?
It was at my bar that I work at. I probably lived maybe 2 miles away from my apartment.
Were you working that evening?
No, ma'am, I was not.
You were just watching TV and drinking?
Yes, ma'am.
From 8 to 11?
Yes, ma'am.
And at about 11 o'clock or 11:15, you got into your car to drive home?
Yes, ma'am.
Drunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's about a 2-mile drive?
Exactly.
Is this a country road or city road?
It's city.
With the traffic lights?
Yes, there were.
Just stop at the lights?
I stopped at every single one.
Did you?
Yes.
So you were conscious enough to stop at every single light?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right? And conscious enough to know that you weren't going to go 100 miles an hour?
Exactly.
You didn't hit anybody?
I hope not.
Good. And the car got home in one piece?
Exactly.
And what happened when you got home, Mr. Franks?
I got home to a very upset girlfriend at the time.
Okay, and she was fighting, according to you, she was fighting and kicking and annoying you and whatever,
Yes.
being physical. Then what happened?
I walked upstairs to go to bed, and she would not let me into the other bedroom until I signed this sheet of paper. I had no idea what it was.
Just a minute. Well, what did she say to you?
She said that this is what she has written up for me on the account of how much money I owe her.
Okay, so she told you that?
Exactly.
So that you knew what the paper was?
I had no idea.
Well, you may not have known how much it was, sir, but you knew what it was.
Exactly.
So then you signed the note.
And then I signed the note, and I called one of the girlfriends that I was watching Friends with, and I was going over to her house because I couldn't, she was yelling and kicking and screaming at me.
Okay. So you called another girl to come pick you up?
No, I was going to go over to her place.
Did you do that?
I did. I went halfway over there, and I turned back around and realized that I needed to go back to my apartment.
Why did you decide you wanted to go back home?
Because I didn't want to have to go back tomorrow morning with her being upset with me at the time.
So
I thought I'd kind of smooth things over if I went back.
So you went back, and what happened?
Things got worse.
Fighting, arguing?
Exactly.
Did you leave again?
No, I didn't. I stayed there. I stuck it out.
Okay. And where did you sleep?
I slept in the bed with her.
Together?
Exactly.
On your side and on her side?
I tried to stay as far on my side.
Okay. But you went to sleep?
Yes, ma'am.
Woke up the next morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did you do the next morning?
We got in another argument over the sheet of paper.
Well, tell me about the argument, sir.
I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I wadded it up. I was upset because I was intoxicated.
You wadded it up?
I wadded my copy up.
Was there a carbon in it? Or
No,
did
ma'am.
you sign two copies?
Apparently it was her copy. I never signed my copy.
So she has the signed copy.
Exactly.
And tell me about the argument.
It was to strengthen our relationship at the time. We were supposed to break up, or not break up, but I was going to move out and get another apartment so we can kind of rebuild on our relationship. That's what I wanted her to believe at the time. I wanted to get out of the relationship. So when I finally found a new apartment, that was it.
Okay. So you just wanted a little breathing time.
Exactly. It was 1 week.
And you wanted her to rip up the thing that you signed the night before.
I didn't really care what she did with that.
Oh, good. Now, may I see it, please?
This is the original one, ma'am.
Okay. Now. Well, Mr. Franks, I've compared your signature on this document, this note, to the signature on your answer. They are the same. The only thing that I have to consider is whether or not, according to your voluntary intoxication, vitiated your consent so that you had no idea what you were doing. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's see. You were drinking from 8 to 11 at a bar with friends, watching Friends.
Exactly.
That you got into your car and drove home 2 miles in the city with the cognitive ability to stop at every stoplight, not speeding, not having any problem with your car, and getting home. Having an argument with her, she handing you this note that you knew was a promissory note. And according to you, the only problem that you have with the note is that you did not read it.
Exactly.
But you had the ability to read it, sir. You're a grown-up guy. If you choose to sign a note without reading it, that doesn't vitiate your consent. That just says you were dumb. And then what you did was you decided you didn't want to deal with this at all, so you called a friend, you got into your car after you signed the note, and drove another 5 miles without having an accident, stopping at every stoplight, and then you had the cognitive ability to say, I don't want to have to deal with her when I get home tomorrow morning to get my stuff. I'm going to turn around, cool off, and see if I can go back and make nice, which you did. That all took a thought process, sir. So if what you're suggesting to me was that at the time you signed this note, you were too drunk to understand what it was that you were signing, I don't buy it. We understand each other?
I do.
You may have said, well, I don't want to be bothered with this. I'm just going to sign this note. She's never going to use it anyway. What you said to her was it'll never hold up in court. Unfortunately, sir, you are wrong. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,565. That's all.
Why is that excuse? You missed the out.
So I feel sorry for the next guy who dates a psycho.
It was horrible, but I'm done with it. I'm happy, actually.
That's a headache done and over with, and I'm not going to have to deal with her again.
It shouldn't have come this far.
Probably be careful on who I date next.
It was nothing against him. It was for my money.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Up versus Rodriguez. Step forward, please.
Web coordinator Debbie Up is suing her former co-worker, computer consultant Thomas Rodriguez, for unpaid rent and a loan to buy a computer. Thomas claims Debbie gave him the computer as a gift.
Miss Up, Mr. Rodriguez was a friend of yours. You allowed him to move into your house for a short period of time. You claimed that he owes you for a month's rent.
Correct.
And in addition, you advanced him on your credit money to buy a computer.
Correct.
according to you, he agreed to make the payments to the company. He made a couple, but when he left, he stopped making the payments, and you want those payments.
Correct.
Mr. Rodriguez says that the computer was very lovely, but it was, in fact, a gift from you. And second, he says that he doesn't owe you any money for rent. He was out of your home, and you had agreed to allow him to store some stuff there until he could get it out, but he doesn't owe you for the month, I think it was July. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Why did you move into Miss Up's home, sir?
Well, at the time, I didn't have a place to stay, so I...
Why didn't you have a place to stay?
Well, I had an argument with the girlfriend, and I didn't have a place to stay, and she offered me a place to live at.
How did you know her?
I know her from work. We've worked with each other before, and I've known her for about 3 years.
What kind of work?
Auto sales.
Why did you invite him to come to live in your home?
Well, we had been friends for a couple of years, and we had done a lot of stuff together, hung out together, gone to movies together, things like that.
Just the two of you?
Yeah. I knew he needed a place to live, and I had an extra bedroom, and I said, you know, for a couple $100 a month, you can rent my room in my house.
Did he give you any money towards rent while he lived there?
Yes, he did. He moved in the end of November, actually Thanksgiving weekend. He paid me for the month of December mid-month. I had agreed that he could pay me mid-month instead of being strapped at the end of the month.
Fine. So he paid you for December, January, February, March, April, May, and June?
And June.
What happened in June?
In June, he, as he said, he had gotten back together with a girlfriend. He ended up not spending a lot of time at home while they were renewing their relationship. So he spent many nights away, still had a key, still had a garage door opener, came and went as he pleased. And
still had clothes there?
Still had clothes there. He had...
This was the month of June or July?
Actually, both. He, I guess, renewed this relationship sometime in mid-June, and throughout July they kept going and decided that that was going to be... I presume that they're still in a relationship. I have no idea.
Good. When did you get your last bit of stuff out of the house, sir?
End of June, early July.
Well, you have to pay for July if you still had stuff there in July, sir.
Well, I had already previously paid her for that month already in the middle of June. Like on June 21st was the last time I paid her for the rent.
Did you stay there at all in July?
No, I wasn't there at all in July.
Yes, he did. He, like I said, he came and went as he pleased in June, and in July, in fact, he spent July 4th weekend at home because I guess his girlfriend was out of town.
Does that sound familiar?
No, actually, July, I wasn't there at all.
July 4th weekend she's talking about,
yeah,
sir. July,
I was just there to pick up my personal items.
Okay.
I'm
All
sorry,
right, let's get to the computer, which is really what we're talking about, because the rent is $200. Let's get to the computer. When did he buy the computer?
In May, I had agreed that he could use my credit with the conditions that he would make the monthly payments, but he had also said that he would try to pay it off as soon as possible because he doesn't like to have debt. He made the computer arrived. He made the June payment of $103. He made the July payment.
Who did he make the June payment to?
Actually, he paid me, and then I paid the company.
Gave you in cash?
Check.
You have a copy of the check, sir?
No, I don't have any copy of the check.
Why not?
I didn't realize I would need it.
Copy of your check register, sir.
No, actually, I don't have that with me.
Why don't you have it with you?
I wasn't aware that I would actually need it.
Of course you need it. Where did you think you were coming? Why would she, Mr. Rodriguez, buy you a computer worth thousands of dollars?
She said it was a gift. She said that...
Mr. Rodriguez, I want you to listen to my words. Why would she buy you a gift worth thousands of dollars?
Because she had feelings for me.
And you had no feelings for her?
No, I told her...
The answer is either yes or no. Is that right?
Yes.
So you had no feelings for her in any other way other than a friend. So why would you encourage her feelings for you by accepting a gift worth thousands of dollars?
I figured, I thought about it, and I figured I wouldn't look good, a gift horse in the mouth, and I figured, I would take it.
Oh, dear.
Do you honestly, Mr. Rodriguez, believe that this lady finds you attractive?
Actually, what happened was, like about a month in June, she actually told me...
She's an intelligent, appears to be at least an intelligent, working woman. Why would she spend thousands of dollars on you when you can't even afford to a decent place to live?
Well, that wasn't the case. The thing was I was just trying to avoid getting into a lease.
Just a second. You mean you could afford a decent place to live?
Yes.
You have children, Mr. Rodriguez?
I have a daughter.
How old?
13.
Do you support her?
Yes.
How much do you send?
$285.23 every 2 weeks, so about $600.
Do they take that money out of your pay, sir?
Yes, I have taken out my check each month.
No, they take it out of your pay. Because there was probably a time when you weren't paying regular child support, so they decided to take it out of your pay, correct?
Well, I would make payments arrangements with their mom.
Listen to what I'm saying, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm 10 steps ahead of you, sir. You weren't making regular child support payments, so they decided to do it by income deduction order and taking it out of your pay. Does that sound right?
Well, no, like I said, I've always paid her mom, for whatever she needed.
You mean diapers for your teenage daughter and things like that? Diapers, Pampers, formula, that kind of thing.
Clothes, whatever she needed. Even, purchased her mom a car when she didn't have no transportation.
Let me see the bill for the computer.
This is the original.
People who use other people, Mr. Rodriguez, especially those people who rely on the fact that they think somebody, I'm speaking, that they think somebody is lonesome, and because they're lonesome and they need company, they're prepared to pay for that company, which is clearly what you thought, which I think is probably one of the most amoral things one person can do to another. We understand each other, Mr. Rodriguez?
No,
Do we understand me? That doesn't mean that you will like what I said. I want to know if you understand what I said.
I hear what you're saying.
Good. You're going to eat the rent. But you're going to get your $2,900 for your computer. Original price of the computer was $3,152. According to you, we made 2 payments of $103, $104 each.
Correct.
One, it's $2,900. You still have the computer, sir?
Yes, I do.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you trying to think ahead of what would be the right answer when I'm asking you a question so that you don't again put your foot in your mouth? Is that why you're pausing?
No, I'm just listening to what you're
Got it. Judgment for the plaintiff, the amount of $2,900.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I had offered several different suggestions, like him financing it through another bank, then we wouldn't have to talk to each other anymore. It seemed to be on his part that he didn't want the friendship to continue.
You would have to think, kind of twice about, saying no, but like I said, who would want to look a gift horse in the mouth?
It seemed to be on his part that he didn't want the friendship to continue.
Well, on several occasions, she's, asked me if I had feelings for her, and I told her, it was just, friends and nothing more.
I did ask him once just to clarify, if there was anything beyond friendship that he wanted, and once that was clarified, that was it.
24-year-old copyright analyst Lydia Velasquez is suing her former friend, 22-year-old car salesman Shannon Sieber, for his share of a trip to Spain. Shannon claims Lydia offered to pay.
This is case number 101 on the calendar in the matter of Velasquez versus Sieber. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats, please.
Ms. Velasquez, Mr. Sieber was a friend of yours, and you claim that he owes you for some expenses from a trip to Spain that you took with him.
That's correct.
Or that he took with you. Mr. Sieber says there was never any agreement to pay you back any of the money you expended on his behalf, while acknowledging that you did spend money on him for plane tickets and some hotel expenses. Is that right, Mr. Sieber?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me turn to you first. I'd like you to tell me something about yourself.
Okay. I'm from Manassas, Virginia. I met Lydia in New York.
I didn't ask you where you met her. I asked you something about yourself.
Something about myself?
Yeah. First, why don't you tell me how old you are?
I'm 22 years old.
And what do you do for a living?
I sell cars.
And how long have you been selling cars?
For about 8 months now.
Is that what you want to be, a car salesman when you grow up?
No, but it pays well.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Own my own business.
What kind of business?
Maybe a daycare.
A daycare?
Yeah.
You like children?
Love children.
Why do you think that you have what it takes to guide young children into maturity? Stand up straight. First, the first thing you have to know is that you don't have to lean on anything.
Yes.
A table, a woman, anything. So what I want you to tell me, Mr. Sieber, is since your life's ambition is to own a daycare,
yeah,
Yes, try yes.
Yes.
That's the first thing you have to do with children, teach them how to speak. And since that is probably one of the most laudable professions to guide children, I want you to explain to me what personality traits you believe you have that would qualify you to guide the future of America. I want you to think about that, Mr. Fastmouth, before you answer my question. Because I want you to think of what it is. Because as you see from this little repartee that we're having between us, I can swallow you up alive. We understand each other?
Oh, we understand each other.
Very good. So I want you to think very carefully, Smarty Mouth, why you believe that you can, with your talents and what those talents and moral qualities that you have are, to guide the children who are the future of America.
Because I'm consistent and committed.
Committed to what?
Committed to be able to learn whatever I have to learn to be able to teach children.
Okay. Now let's talk about your moral qualifications. You sell cars?
Yes.
Did you ever exaggerate to somebody when you sold them a car?
No.
Never.
No.
So when you're negotiating with somebody, you're always right up front. When you say, listen, my manager won't let me take a penny less than for this car, and I'm going to give up most of my commissions so that you can have this car, because I want you to have this car.
Of course.
That's totally honest.
Oh, yeah.
Never said anything that wasn't true.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I want you to do this for me, Mr. Sieber. When you open up your daycare center,
Yes, ma'am.
let me know where it is.
Okay.
When did you take this trip with Miss Velasquez?
We took it March 31st.
And how long did you go for?
6 days.
Who went, Mr. Sieber?
Myself and Lydia.
Just the two of you?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume, Miss Velasquez, from reading your papers, that you had a little bit of a crush on him.
I did.
Now, what makes you think, Mr. Sieber, that even though Miss Velasquez had a crush on you, she was going to pay for your tickets?
Well, when I got the call early in February, and she asked me to take the trip with her, I told her that I would take the trip, and she said that she would cover the flight expense if I would go with her. When we got over there, the first night that we were there, advances were made, and I told her I wasn't looking for anything further. And after that happened, we got back to Northern Virginia. I started getting calls. She wanted money. So, because the advances were denied, she decided she wanted payment.
Why did you go with her, Mr. Sieber?
Because I liked her as a friend.
Did you tell her that?
Yes.
Well, tell me what you said to her.
Exactly that.
Let me hear.
I like you as a friend.
When did you tell her that?
Many times. In New York, when I was with her, over the phone.
When she called and asked you to go to Europe with her, did she say why she wanted you to go to Europe with her?
No.
All right, now I'll hear you, Miss Velasquez.
Thank you.
When did you call him?
I didn't call him, actually. He had called me. We initially met, and we went on a really nice romantic first date. We kept in touch. My sister got sick. He was calling to ask me about her. And through the course of the conversation, towards the end of the conversation, I had told him about a trip that I was planning for myself. I thought planning a trip for myself and going to Spain was really what I wanted to do. Then Shannon had called me. He's very charming on the phone, and he expressed his interest in coming with me.
No, just not expressing it. What did he say, if you remember?
He said, would you mind if I came with you? And I said, yeah, no, that's great. I was excited about the fact that he wanted to go with me on a trip.
Now let's get to the tickets.
Sure. He had said if you can find a ticket for around $400 that he'd go ahead and, pay me for that. So the next day I did a vigorous search. I'm pretty good at the internet, and I found tickets. I had called him up and I told him how much the ticket was going to be. It was around $444, and he had said, that's fine. And I said, well, I already put the hotels, so you can just pay me half for the hotels. We can split that, and then just pay me back for the flight. And he said that he would pay me back the full amount. When we got to Spain, he paid me $300 in cash, and he...
Oh, Mr. Sieber, how come you gave her $300 in cash, sir?
Oh, that was for the hotel.
You gave her $300 and said...
And he said, on April 18th, I will send you the remaining balance. So I had thought that he was going to pay me once he got back home. We had a good time. I realized, though, when we got there, his attitude towards me changed. Before that, the phone conversations were great. He was saying, oh, you're so cute, and I'm listening to your CD right now because I sing or whatnot, and you're making me smile and all this charming baloney. And I fell for it. I fell for it. Like, I would, but when we got there, though, his attitude changed towards me. He all of a sudden was cold, distant, and it seemed like I was irritating to him.
The bloom was off the rose.
It was.
Okay, fine.
It fell down and someone squished it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Lydia Velasquez says former friend Shannon Sieber owes for a trip to Spain. Shannon claims Lydia is upset that he only wants to be friends.
All right. $444 was the plane ticket, is that right?
Correct.
And then there was some expenses for the hotel.
Correct, because we were there for 5 days and 4 nights.
And you are asking for $350, which is less than the cost of the ticket, so your $300, sir, paid portion of the plane ticket. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Look at that. You paid part of the plane ticket and you didn't even know it. That's great. Mr. Sieber, you look like a sweet young man. You're 22 years old, so I will attribute some of what you say to me today as being words from somebody who is not yet fully cooked. Just starting to shave and just starting to feel yourself. So I want you to understand something. You're supposed to have a reasonable moral compass. You're not supposed to toy with somebody else's affections. And I think that you're a smart aleck enough to know that by going to Spain with her, you were toying with her affections. You're not supposed to do that. It's unkind. And should you find yourself at the other end of this affection stick at some point in your life, I guarantee you won't like it. But I've been around long enough, Mr. Sieber, to know that what goes around comes around. And it may not come around today, or it may not come around tomorrow. But if you're not nice to people, eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the behind. We understand each other?
Clearly.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $350. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's just sad when friends have to start suing each other.
I'm just happy that I'm going to actually get my money back.
There was never a relationship to begin with. It was all made up in our mind.
I might have been misled by him.
It was made very clear before we left it was what it was. There was going to be nothing more.
Not the person that I thought he was.
She's a nice lady.
He's just being rude.
We were only friends, and that's all it would ever be.
We're not friends anymore.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of De La Vega versus De La Vega, step forward, please.
State worker Anna De La Vega is suing her ex-husband, mailman Patrick De La Vega, for the return of a dresser and a ring. Patrick says the dresser was a gift and the ring was for their engagement.
Mrs. De La Vega, is this your son?
Yes, he is.
How old is he?
17.
Your son's name is?
Randall.
Does Randall have a relationship with his father?
No, he does not.
So he is not his father?
He is not his father.
Okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure, because I usually don't like children in here, to hear it if parents are squabbling. You and Mr. De La Vega were married and then divorced, and several years later got back together again, according to your complaint, and decided to try your relationship out again, and he moved into your home. That didn't work out, and it is your claim that he took from you when he moved out some furniture that belonged to you, that he refuses to return, as well as a ring that he had purchased for you as a gift. Mr. De La Vega says that the furniture that he took was furniture that you left in the apartment, just a dresser, and that the ring was an engagement ring, and therefore it was his, and he took it. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When were you divorced?
1986, September.
And when did you get back together again?
September 25th, 1998, he showed up on my doorstep with his clothes.
Okay, and you hadn't seen him in all that time?
We had been talking since December of 1997.
And when did you separate?
March 17th of 2003.
Tell me about this piece of furniture. What is it?
It was a chest of drawers, cherry wood, that I bought on sale at Montgomery Ward's. And
when did you buy it?
In 2000.
Okay, and how much did you pay for it?
I'm estimating the value of $300 because I don't actually have the receipt. I couldn't find the receipt.
Did he leave or did you leave?
I left because we had been to counseling in 2002 and it had
Didn't
broken
work
down.
out. So March 2003
And
you
I
left.
had asked him to leave and he would not.
So you left. What about all the furniture in the apartment?
I left everything there because he threatened to take my son, our son.
Okay, so you left everything there and you never retrieved it?
I came back, yes, a couple of days later with a moving van.
Okay, because I thought you were taking all the stuff. So you came back with a moving van. Was he home?
Yes, he was, actually.
And you took all the furniture. Tell me what furniture you took.
I took major pieces of furniture.
And the only thing that you left that you now say you want is the chest of drawers. Now tell me about this ring.
My ex-husband was never really good at buying me gifts for Christmas, for birthdays. It was extremely rare that he would even remember to buy me a card. So in July of 2001, he was trying to make it up to me. So he asked me what I wanted. I said, I want a nice ring. So we went looking. He said, okay, you pick out whatever you want, and I'll pay for it.
You have it?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
And I didn't initially know that the ring was gone. He told me by
Just a second. Well, I didn't ask you any questions. July of 2001. And tell me, did you buy this ring with him, or did he surprise you with it?
No, we went together shopping because he wanted me to pick out whatever it was that I wanted.
Okay, now in July of 2001, is that a birthday? Is that
my birthday is in July 7th. And the ring was purchased July 8th. And I do have
You have the receipt?
I have the receipt.
I'd like to see it. Well, it was certainly purchased around her birthday, sir, right?
Fine, yes.
Good. Now, Mrs. De La Vega, when for the first time between July 2001 and March of 2003 did you start to plan a wedding?
We didn't. We just talked about it. We mentioned it and stuff like that. In fact, we were looking for a home.
Okay. What else did you buy for her between July of 2001 and March of 2003?
Oh, nothing. Gifts and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I'm asking. You said gift. What did you buy her?
I gave her money and paid for stuff. I can't remember what I bought her, but...
Nothing.
Give her her ring back. Mr. De La Vega, let me explain something to you, sir. An engagement ring is not given, in my judgment, Mr. De La Vega, when you've had a smorgasbord of emotions. You've had a marriage, a divorce, a rekindling, another baby, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You've had a birthday, you've had an anniversary, and then you say, well, I'm going to give you an engagement ring after I've known you for 25 years.
No,
Do you understand, Mr. De La Vega?
Yes, well, we're divorced.
It doesn't work that way, sir. It doesn't work that way. You bought the ring, and if it's the only thing that you can remember having bought for your former wife in 25 years, consider it, sir, a very small token. Now, Mrs. De La Vega, I'm going to get to the rest of your complaint. The rest of your complaint is for an old 4-year-old dresser that you haven't had in your possession for over a year, that you left in the apartment that you shared with him.
Yes.
Thank
Forget it.
you.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Forget it. You got the ring? Be a happy girl.
I'm happy.
Good. He says goodbye. I say goodbye. Be
God
well.
bless.
Enjoy. God bless.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He stole from me, and it was the principle of the thing. I told him that. He was a thief.
She just got jealous because she seen him with another woman. She figured maybe I was going to give it to her. That's all it is. Jealousy, jealousy, jealousy.
You can't believe anything Mr. De La Vega says. Anything that comes out of his mouth cannot be believed.
Everything was fine until she seen me with a younger woman. Just jealousy.
He claims it's on my part. It's on his part. He's the one that's jealous.
I hope she gets on with her life because I did. She told me she did, so I did too.
Parties in the matter of Feynman versus Hernandez. Step forward.
Aspiring author Annie Feynman is suing her former astrologer, Anita Hernandez, for breach of confidentiality. Annie says Anita used her pen name without permission.
Miss Feynman, your lawsuit alleges that somehow Miss Hernandez published something with your name on it. It wasn't your name, it was a pen name that you used, and that people might recognize the pen name and attribute whatever problem it was to you. So I want you to explain to me and to Bird here, what did she publish, when did she publish it, why it caused embarrassment to you, and why you think that she breached some sort of confidentiality arrangement she had with you. Let's go.
Okay. I've been in a depression for a while, so I decided to consult an astrologer. and I gave her some personal details of what had been happening.
You're an astrologer?
Yes.
How did you find her?
I had been seeing her website for quite a while, and she's very...
On the internet?
Yes. She's a very interesting astrologer, and I thought this would be an interesting way to maybe solve some of the problems I'm having. So the email name I use, the Flame McBain email name...
The what?
Flame McBain, which happens to be the main character of a novel I wrote, which I'm sending out to get published. It isn't published yet. That's why I'm nervous about this information being sent all over the internet, because I'm afraid a scandal might come of it, because the information she put out in a newsletter...
Just a second. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Oh.
So you wanted her to do what?
I wanted a chart.
You wanted a chart?
Yeah, some astrological calculations as to what was happening. Very personal, embarrassing details.
Ms. Feynman, you sent this over the internet?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So, along with personal details that you wouldn't want a stranger to know about.
I thought it was just going to Miss Hernandez. Well, you have a point.
What I want to see now is how you published her problem, because what she's complaining about is that you published her problem and people could identify her.
It's a limerick.
It's a limerick. I remember limericks from high school.
Ogden Nash.
Don't let them see that. Is this what you're complaining? I want you to take a look at that. Is this what you're complaining about?
Yeah, this is exactly what... She had sent out the newsletter. I didn't get it, coincidentally enough, but my friend did. My witness got it. That's how I found out about it.
Okay. Can I see it, please? Suffice it to say, without going into details, which would be even more embarrassing for you, because instead of a few people getting it on the internet, hopefully, since our courtroom is televised, hopefully tens of millions of people will be watching.
And won't know the details.
And won't know the details. So you were asking about a situation that you had that involved something personal.
Right.
And she responded by writing a little poem and identified you by the use of the name that you sent her, which was Flame McBain.
I've used this name for 8 years. People know that it's me. Had she just said my client, it wouldn't have been a problem.
It wouldn't have been a limerick.
Just a second. Just a second. Why did you use that name when you sent her?
I didn't. She used it from my email address.
Right. And she says clearly, no real names used.
Right, but I've used that name for 8 years. People know it's me.
So what? She didn't use any real names, and the only way she could convey to you things were by using your name.
Beyond what's happening now, I'm very nervous that if I do get published, that this would come out to be used against me in the future and cause me public embarrassment. I wanted to, get it over with now.
Her novel is about a hooker. Her novel is about a hooker.
Miss Hernandez, Miss Hernandez, put it away. Put it away. Miss Feynman, listen to me very carefully. Shh.
Third generation.
Shh. What word of be quiet didn't you understand?
B.
You didn't understand B?
B.
We're going to try it again, because Bill Clinton, you're not. If you're afraid that the name Flame McBain will come back and haunt you if your novel is published, is that what your real concern is? Change the name.
Change what name?
Flame McBain.
It's too late. It's copyrighted, and the book is...
Just a second. Nobody bought it yet. If somebody...
I have sold it unpublished.
Listen to me. If somebody buys it, change the name. Miss Feynman.
I can't do that.
Get it. Why can't you?
That's my character's name.
Change it. If you're afraid of being embarrassed, change the name.
Way too late for that. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Listen, if you don't want something to be out there in the general... Wherever they put the
it's
things,
already
they go, listen to me
copyrighted.
carefully. Wherever they go in the internet, wherever things go in the internet, into outer space, don't put it in writing. Nothing is private that's on the internet. And if you didn't learn that before, this is a very good lesson. And if you're not afraid of it being out there, but what your real fear is that it may negatively impact on your book, change the name of your heroine. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Scandal, embarrassment, shame.
She loved the poem, and she said, I love it.
I can't change the name of the character.
Sorry stories like that are what I teach from.
It has put me into a dilemma.
And I needed it, and I used it.
I mean, she's a very good astrologer. I just don't trust her. I'm sorry.
I feel bad that she feels bad.
Case.
All parties in the matter, Pounders versus Mansour. Step forward, please.
28-year-old student Sarah Pounders is suing her former friends, Tamer and Michelle Mansour, for the unpaid balance on a Saturn SL1. The couple claims Sarah forgave the debt.
Miss Pounders, you violated one of my first rules of life. You sold a used car to friends. Right?
Well, frenemies, yes.
What did she say?
Frenemies.
Oh, no.
Friendemies?
Yeah, I was kind of making a joke. You know how friend and enemies, the word together is frenemies.
Frenemies.
Only Bird makes jokes here. Okay, when did you sell them the car?
On March 4th of this 2004.
What kind of a car was it?
A 1997 SL1 Saturn.
Car that you liked?
Yes.
Thought it was a good deal?
The deal was good. It worked out good because she would let us make payments, and we were in the process of buying a house, so it worked out really good.
So it was a good deal?
Yes.
So why didn't you finish making the payments?
Because Oliver and me used to be
That's Oliver.
Correct. We used to be really good friends, best friends for a while, and I used to live in the same apartment complex as Sarah. They ended up being friends, they were dating for a while, and then they broke up. And then in between, when I saw Sarah on and off, she would always say, oh, I miss Oliver, I miss Oliver. One day, me and my wife were talking, we really needed to get a second car, and so we coincidentally came home and saw a for sale sign on Sarah's car. And I went and talked to her. Oliver was with me that day when I went to see her, so she was excited to see him.
Get to the point. You bought the car.
Well, it leads up to it because it's hard to, when we got home, there was a note on our door from Sarah saying that I'll take $200 down and I'll take $200 a month. You don't have to pay it on the first. If there's a problem with the car, you could take it off the payments, and that was it.
Show me the note.
I don't have the note on me, but I don't think she'd deny the fact that she wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote him a note, something like
And
that.
what was said in the note? Let's see if we agree what the note said. That she would take $3,600.
Yes.
Take payments of $200 a month.
Certainly.
That you didn't have to make the payments on the first of the month.
Right.
And that if there was something that went wrong with the car, they could deduct that from the money.
Right.
That was an idiotic thing to say.
I know, I agree.
But you agree that you wrote it?
Yes.
What else did the note say?
That was the most important part. The rest was just...
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So you decided to buy the car.
Yeah.
Now I got the backstory. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Get on with it. Why did you stop making payments on the car?
Later on, me and Sarah were talking on the phone, and she said, oh, I'm so happy that you hooked me up with Oliver that I'm not worried about it. You can just keep the car. Word for word.
And you said, don't be ridiculous. We had an arrangement. I'm glad that you and my friend Oliver are back together again, and I wouldn't think of taking advantage of our friendship like that. Of course I'm going to continue to make payments. At what point in the conversation did you say that, sir?
I didn't say that, because Sarah doesn't need to worry about money. She's a trust fund baby.
Maybe that's why you think that you didn't have to pay her.
I didn't have to pay her because she said that.
Did you say that to him?
I absolutely did not.
Absolutely not. If she wanted to give you the car, she would have given you the car. I don't believe you.
Well,
I
it's
don't
hard to
believe
believe
you.
her,
And you
too.
want to know something? If I don't believe you, then you're a liar.
Well, I'm
Because it
not
doesn't
lying.
make... Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
And not only that, but you're
You
not
don't know Sarah
honorable.
either.
Not only that, but you're not honorable. What do you want to show me?
I am honorable because after
He's
that
on
I continue
probation
to pay
for breaking
it.
into a car and attempting to steal it. And
Hey,
oh, I thought you motioned for me. Sorry. Sorry.
I don't do much around here. Let me do that.
Can I make a comment? Mm-hmm. He took the title out himself, filled it all out, and told me, this is what you do, you sign here. I know all about selling cars, Betty, it's all right, you can trust me, you're my buddy. And he told me that if I were to sign, I would still be the legal owner of the car. He would just have to do that to insure the car. And that's why I signed it, because I trusted him as my friend.
He's a slick liar, and you signed this bill of sale? Did you sign this bill of sale?
Yes. Sarah's a habitual liar herself. She followed the Grateful Dead concert
Is she
for
a
2
felon?
years.
Is she a
No,
convicted felon?
but she's an acid
That's just
person.
it. Is she a convicted felon?
No, but she does acid.
When you went, listen to me, when you were arrested by the police and you appeared before the court for the first time, did you enter a plea? I'm speaking to you.
I refuse to answer that question.
Oh, God, listen to me. Don't sell anything to friends. You always wind up the short end of the stick, especially when you're dealing with people who have no moral fiber at all. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,900. Thank you.
She thought that she wanted to get all the money up front because her mom threatened to take her trust fund away from her.
No, that's not true.
I don't ever want to speak to her again. She's just a habitual liar. I hope she got what she wanted today.
Hammer did it to himself because it wasn't my choice to make Oliver not his friend.
But I'm not a liar, I'm not a habitual liar. Even after she said that, I still continued to make payments on the car.
The habitual lies, it was just too much to take.
Next case.
All parties in the matter of Hart versus Armstrong. Step forward, please.
24-year-old receptionist Valeska Hart is suing her former neighbor, 24-year-old production assistant Brian Armstrong, for the cost to repair her vacuum cleaner. Brian says he borrowed the vacuum to clean his apartment after it was egged.
Is that the offending vacuum cleaner?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Armstrong, you are Miss Harp's neighbor, or were Miss Harp's neighbor. And according to what I read, somebody or some group of people decided, I haven't said anything yet. Why do you have this silly look on your face?
Just listening.
Good. Listen intently.
I am.
Somebody egged your apartment.
Yeah.
Made a big mess all over the place. And you went next door and asked Miss Harp if you could borrow her vacuum cleaner. Miss Harp says that when you returned the vacuum cleaner to her after having tried to vacuum up all this wet slop that was all over your carpet, that the vacuum cleaner didn't work anymore and it was ruined. And Mr. Armstrong, you say that it seemed to work just fine when you brought it home.
Yeah.
Does it work anymore?
Now it does because I had it fixed.
Do you have a bill?
Yes, I do.
When was your apartment egged, Mr. Armstrong?
About last weekend in April.
By whom?
I have no idea.
Did you make a police report?
No, it was reported to the management downstairs, but I don't think any police.
Not them, you. Why didn't you report it to the police?
That somebody egged my house?
That someone vandalized your home.
It was all cleaned up by the apartment building. It wasn't a big deal.
They cleaned up your apartment?
Yeah. They repainted the whole out front. Outside, they cleaned it.
Who cleaned the inside of your apartment?
That was me.
Why did you use that vacuum cleaner to clean up all the wet stuff in your apartment?
I didn't clean up any wet stuff. What happened was my sliding door was open, so some of the eggs, 2 or 3, had gotten inside. And a couple days later, when I'm cleaning it up, there was like dry yolk and stuff on the carpet. I resolved it out, scrubbed it out, and then there were still some eggshells on the ground, stuff like that. But it wasn't sloppy wet like you were describing.
I didn't describe it. She described it in her complaint.
Okay.
Tell me what happened when he returned the vacuum cleaner.
When the vacuum was returned to me, the outside bag, not the inside bag that you changed, but the outside bag was completely soaking wet. You could have wrung it, and you lifted it up, and there was gooey stuff coming out of it. On the metal part, there was eggshells.
When he returned it to you, did you say anything to him about the condition?
Yes, I did.
What did you say to him?
I said, this is leaking, because he put it back into the closet where it was, and it wasn't a carpeted area, and I was cleaning up the area, and I said, I'm going to have to take this in to get it fixed and to get it cleaned, and you're going to have to pay for it.
And he said?
How much do you think that will cost? And I said, I'm not sure. And
it's impossible for her to say that there was leaking stuff coming out of the bottom because I didn't vacuum up any.
Did you use the words to her, Mr. Armstrong, how much do you think that will cost? Almost not an answer. Why don't you have a vacuum of your own?
I don't know.
You have an apartment that has carpeting?
I do.
So how do you clean the carpeting? With the tweezers?
Sometimes.
I don't find you adorable. How do you clean your carpeting?
I don't.
How long have you lived there?
Maybe 6 months now.
And you don't clean the carpeting?
I did when she lived there.
When who lived there?
Val lived across the way.
So you borrowed her vacuum cleaner frequently?
Maybe once previous to the incident.
So in the 6 months that you lived there, you vacuumed your carpet twice? Is that right?
Maybe 3 times, yeah.
Whose vacuum did you borrow the 3rd time? You're making it up as you're going along, sir.
I mean, I don't know how many times I vacuumed my carpet, to be honest with you.
How many times had he borrowed your vacuum?
I don't have
once prior to the incident.
How many times a day do you shower?
Once.
Laundry?
Every month, maybe.
Yeah, do you turn your underwear?
Sometimes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $200.29. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
After I got it fixed, I said, you owe me $200.28.
I didn't break the vacuum. When I returned it, it was still working.
He got drunk one night and had nothing to do afterwards, so he was egging people off of his balcony.
That's true.
Cynthia Zane is suing her ex-boyfriend, handyman George Flores, for the money she paid him to work on her house. George says Cynthia never let him finish the job. He is countersuing for his out-of-pocket expenses.
Now, this is case number 274 on the calendar in the matter of Zane versus Flores. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Zane, according to what I read, you met the defendant in May of 2004. Where did you meet him?
I met him at a neighborhood bar.
Remember what date in May?
It was the first Friday in May. I think it was the 6th.
According to you, you and the defendant had a romantic relationship.
Correct.
And there came a time when he needed some money. 2 or 3 separate occasions. You loaned him the money, and the repayment was supposed to be work done in your home by the defendant. You paid him the money.
Correct.
He never did the work. Or he started the work but never completed it. And some he never did.
Well, he didn't do very much.
And so you want the money back.
Correct.
Mr. Flores says that there was never a romantic relationship that existed between the two of you, that you hired him to do work in your home. He performed the work. You never paid him. And he's got a counterclaim for that work. And both of you have claims against each other for harassment. Each of you say the other is harassing. So, what was the first loan, how much, and how did you give him the money?
I gave the money to him in cash.
For what?
It was for an automobile.
When was that?
That was June 6th, 2004.
And how much was it?
It was for $750.
So you gave him $750 then, and how was he supposed to pay you back that money?
He was supposed to perform work on my house.
What work, specifically, for the $750?
Okay, he was supposed to finish the trim around his sunroom, install a bathroom vanity and sink, repair to bathroom tile, cleaning, caulking, and treating mold and mildew.
I see you're looking at something. What is it that you're looking at?
I'm looking at the receipts he signed.
Can I see them, please? Did he do any of this work?
The only thing that he did, he mowed the lawn one time. He cut down a tree in the front yard. He power washed the front of the house.
And when did he perform this work?
Probably June 5th, maybe the 4th. First week in June.
Look, I asked you when the first money that you gave him was. You said it was June 6, 2004. You gave him $750 for a car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, $750. Here's the receipt, and I have it dated 6/21/04.
Mm-hmm.
And he was supposed to finish trim around the sunroom, install a bathroom vanity, and he signed this thing, and you signed it, and it says paid in advance. But now you say that he did this work on June 4th. So he did the work.
He did part of the work.
Okay, so he did part of the work.
Right.
Good. Now, when was the next time you gave him money?
The next time I gave him money would have been a week later, maybe 10 days later.
Now, when did you start to have a romantic relationship with Mr. Flores?
Probably the second week of May.
Well, tell me about the nature of your romantic relationship.
The nature of our romantic relationship was he told me he was unmarried.
Did you go out for dinner?
We sat at Chili's one day, and he told me he was divorced in April 2004.
Did you ever take her to Chili's, sir?
Chili's?
Chili's restaurant.
Never.
Never?
Never did. Not a Chili's restaurant. Never
Did you ever take it to any restaurants, Mr. Flores?
No.
Oh, it's not it. Listen to me, Mr. Flores. I know everything.
No, ma'am. I only went to one to Jackie D's. That was on the 19th of August. That's the last time we went out together. And
Mr. Flores, you're not following what I'm saying, sir.
Okay.
Maybe we're having a communications problem.
Okay.
Did you ever go out to eat with the plaintiff?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Mr. Flores, you don't think that you're smarter than I am, do you?
No, ma'am.
Shh. You're not. So that when I ask you a question, you would do well to answer the question directly, truthfully the first time so that you and I don't have to do a dance around the truth. Do I make myself clear?
Correct.
How many times were you and the plaintiff out for dinner?
Like
Look up!
2 or 3 times.
Okay. And of the 2 or 3 times, according to you, the one place that you never went was Chili's.
Exactly.
Where did you go when you went out for dinner?
Jackie D's.
Do you remember the days that you went to Jackie D's?
Exactly. 8/19.
That was the last time, sir.
That was
Before
the last time. And before that, I went out with her to another place. I can't recall the name of it.
And do you remember about what time you got home?
Yeah, I believe I got home like around like 12:30 or 1 o'clock.
Now, at the time, Mr. Flores, you were living with whom?
My wife.
Where did you tell your wife you were on those evenings, Mr. Flores?
I told her I was out in a. I told her I was out in a business.
You told your wife you were out on business?
Yes, with the lady I was working on.
No, Mr. Listen to me, sir.
Okay.
Your wife is not an idiot, is she?
No, believe me, she's not.
Right. So when you were out until 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning, you wouldn't have told your wife that you were out with a lady discussing cleaning the mold out of her bathroom, right? So you told your wife that you were out on business, correct?
Yes.
And that was a lie.
Mm.
Is not an answer, Mr. Flores.
No, it wasn't a lie. She had called me the same day to meet her in Jackie D's so we could discuss about the payment of pay me for the job I did at her house.
How long did that take, Mr. Flores?
That took us at least an hour or two. We had a couple of drinks. We sat down, and next thing you know, it was like around 12:30, 1 o'clock. We got into an argument. She left me there. I had to call my brother to pick me up, and that was it.
Well, just a second. Why was that? How did you get there?
She picked me up.
Picked you up from where?
She picked me up from the well, the wishing well.
What's the
That's
wishing
the
well?
neighborhood bar where I met her in the beginning.
So she picked you up at one bar and you went someplace else
Yes.
to discuss it?
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you discuss the payment at the wishing well, sir?
Because she didn't want to stay there.
Miss
And
Flores,
that was it.
is that you?
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand that he's full of baloney, don't you? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I just wanted to make sure that we understand each other.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Cynthia Zane says ex-boyfriend George Flores owes for the return of money she paid him to work on her home. Cynthia says George lied about being divorced.
Now, so you advanced him in total $3,000.
Yes.
And he only performed part of the work.
Right.
And after the romance was over,
After he
recording-
did the first... Oh, no. This went on until August 22nd. August 22nd was the last time I seen George.
Well, tell me about August 22nd.
August 22nd, we went to Jackie D's, and that's when we got in the argument because I confronted him. He knew that I was on the case about him being married. He kept denying it over and over, and I just didn't buy it. And that was it. I just didn't want anything to do with him after that.
Well, how did you find out he was married?
I got a tip from somebody, and then I went to the records in Pasco County, and I got his address, and it says George W. Flores and Letitia Flores, and it gave the address. So that's how I knew how to serve him the papers.
Okay. Now, tell me about the harassment.
The harassment?
Yeah.
Basically, the harassment didn't start. I have call logs. I shared a phone with him, with Sprint. He had, shared minutes. I gave him my phone.
You gave him a phone?
Right.
Is that right, sir?
Yes, it is.
Why would she give you a phone?
To keep in contact with her, to finish up on a job.
This many times a day highlighted.
That's all, because I had no phone for her to get in contact with me whatsoever.
You were living home with your wife.
Yes, I was.
Why couldn't she call you at home if this was a business proposition?
I do not have a home phone. That's the reason why she
He
got
has
the
a home phone. It's
Just
on
a
here.
second. Your wife doesn't have a home phone?
No, we have a cell phone.
Well, if she had to get in touch with you, and if the only phone that you had was a cell phone, why didn't she call your wife and say, listen, I'm a client of your husband's?
Because of the fact is, she kept all the time shutting off the phone that she had bought, and the one that my wife had was always only for emergency purposes. And that's the reason she got the phone for me, because I told her I couldn't call her from my wife's phone.
What kind of work do you do?
Me, I'm on SSI, ma'am.
What's the nature of your disability, Mr. Flores?
Mental depression.
How long have you been on SSI?
10 years.
You have children, Mr. Flores?
Yes, I do.
How old are they?
My oldest is 10 years old.
Yes.
And the other one's 7 and the other one is 5.
So you're not that depressed?
Well,
huh?
I guess not.
I guess not.
Yeah.
And I'm real interested in your counterclaim, because your counterclaim is for $3,000. Because according to you, Mr. Flores, you had a verbal contract with the plaintiff for $2,500 to do labor on her home.
Exactly.
So you're not too depressed to do labor, because you say you completed the work. Isn't that right?
Right.
So it's rather interesting. Social Security Administration is really going to be interested in the fact that somebody who suffers for 10 years from manic depression is able to do heavy manual labor in somebody's house for $2,500 in cash.
Well, it was basically...
Well, what?
Well, basically, when she hired me, it was only to clean up the house.
Is this the first time in 10 years, Mr. Flores,
Yes.
that you performed manual labor?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me in 10 years, sir, aside from making 2 or 3 children, the only work that you've done was for the plaintiff, in the amount of $2,500 for which you were not paid. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was just your bad luck that that job ended you up in court before me.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to get to tell that story all over again, Mr. Flores, to the Social Security Administration, because I'm going to see to it that they get the tape. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. I just want to tell you this. It's very hard for me to put a dollar figure on the work that he did. Gave him $3,000. Let's say he power washed the front, he power washed the driveway, he cut down a tree in the front of the house. So you figure, even if he was a very high power person, he would be entitled to $1,500. You deduct that from what you paid him, which means that he owes you $1,500 because you gave him the money. I believe that you gave him the money, and I believe that he did not perform the work satisfactorily. And I do not believe that he performed the work and you didn't give him any money, which is what he says, because he's a scam artist. And he's been scamming people of the United States of America for 10 years.
He has. I know that.
Oh, you know that?
I know
that
that.
because in his spare time he goes to Mickey D's or Dickie D's or wherever he goes to drink. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500 on a claim. His counterclaim is dismissed. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
George is a scammer. I got caught up in it. 3 months later, I finally figured him out.
She needed help fixing up her house and stuff. At the time, I said, sure, why not?
He was married. He told me he was not married.
We may end up getting divorced over this, yes.
Lying all around. He's a chronic, compulsive liar.
Basically, one thing led to another. This is it. I'm here.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Slovic versus Jimenez. Step forward, please.
21-year-old office manager Jamie Slovic is suing her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old construction worker Roman Jimenez, for unpaid rent, damaged property, and the return of household items belonging to her.
Miss Slovic, you and the defendant lived together. Take your hands out of your pockets. You and the defendant lived together for a period of time.
Yes.
There was an altercation between the two of you, and you claimed that Mr. Jimenez moved out. And when he moved out, he took with him a whole bunch of furniture that you had purchased on your credit card that you either paid for or are still paying for. In addition, you claim he owes you for half a month's rent and some eviction costs because you were ultimately evicted from the apartment. Mr. Jimenez says that you really locked him out of the apartment because you called the police, so stop complaining that he owes you any rent because he couldn't live there. He doesn't, however, address the issue of the furniture, which I will get to. So when did you and Mr. Jimenez live together, Ms.
We lived together for 3 months.
Starting when?
Starting from June of 2003 to October of 2003. And the reason why he had to move out is because it was court-ordered, or police report ordered, that he moved out of the apartment.
Just a second.
Okay.
That order was issued as a result of a complaint, correct?
Yeah.
And the complainant in that complaint was who?
Me.
Right. Well, that's pretty much what he's saying. He's saying he had to leave the apartment because you complained, which resulted in a court order putting him out of the apartment. So he's right. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Now let's get to the furniture.
Okay. When we lived together, we had nothing, and we purchased
big pictures for the walls, a couch and a coffee table that we got before we moved in there, a dining room table, and a bed that we purchased while we were living there. All this stuff that, you know, we were supposed to be living together to pay off together. He had no credit, so we did everything on my credit. He couldn't get approved anywhere.
So far, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. When you moved out, did you take the furniture with you?
I took my furniture with me.
What did you take?
I took my pictures.
Pictures. Were those pictures that were purchased on her credit card?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then how could you take the pictures if she paid for them?
Well, because I gave her some money too, and you know, she spent the money on that stuff, and I spent my money like on food and going out and stuff like that.
Going out.
We ate a lot. We ate good food.
Going out without me.
Shh. Don't talk to him.
Okay.
What else did you take with you, sir?
Pictures, pots, pans, some sofas. Oh.
Some what?
Oh, I took a futon, like a sort of
Just a
recliner
second.
futon.
Pictures, pots, and pans.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I have pictures and pots and pans. What other furniture did you take with you, sir?
I didn't take the furniture because the furniture was broken.
So you took nothing else but pictures and pots and pans. Is that what you're telling me?
That's correct.
What happened to the futon you told me about a couple of seconds ago?
Oh, it was kind of broken.
Did you take it?
Pieces of it.
Do you suffer from a mental disability?
No, I don't.
Unfortunately, Mr. Jimenez, I'm not kidding.
No, I don't suffer from a mental disability.
Then when I ask you a question, I want you to think about the answer, and I want you to give me an answer that's truthful. Pictures, pots and pans, and a futon sofa. Is that right?
The mattress. I took the mattress.
Took the mattress. And was that something that was purchased after you moved into the apartment?
Yes, it was.
So the pictures, the pots and pans, the futon, and the mattress were things that were purchased with the plaintiff's credit card that she paid for or is paying for, and you took.
Correct. It was my...
Perfect! How much were those things?
Everything that he left me with is way beyond $5,000.
Listen, it's not what I asked you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He says he took pictures. Do you have the bill for the pictures?
This top one right here is one of the pictures.
And how much was that?
$47.99.
What else? Give me the figure.
Okay, figures $16.99, $15.99, $14.99, and $69.99.
How much was the futon?
I don't have the receipt just for the futon.
Oh, fine. So then forget that. Now, mattress. How much was it? He took it with him.
$580, I think, for just the mattress.
Go. Mattress, futon, pots and pans.
$256.22.
$256.
$22.
$940.
Okay.
Now, listen to me, Mr. Jimenez. You cannot take property that was being paid for by the plaintiff because you wanted it.
She said all I had to do was cook for her because I like to cook. She said all I had to do was cook for her, and it was cool. I like to cook.
Just a second. Would you run that past me again in English and slowly, please?
Okay, she said that all I had to do was cook some good food, and it was cool. Just don't worry about it, baby, and that was it.
You have children?
Yeah, I have one son.
How old is he? How old is he?
He's 5 years old.
You have children?
No.
Very good. Miss Slovak.
Drama.
You know, sometimes you make a mistake, and what you have to do is you have to put a period and move on. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. You're a young girl. He's worthless. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. He used you.
Yep.
You took care of his son?
Yes, I did.
Once in a while. She went to the park with him once in a while.
You have to look up and say, thank you, Lord, because I was shown the light early enough before I had a child with him, or maybe two, before he totally ruined my credit, before he wasted the best years of my life. So you really should say thank you. And next time, store the information in your head and exercise better judgment. Right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $940. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was pretty violent. It was pretty nasty, I guess.
Oh man, we were wasted.
Well, everything was destroyed in the apartment.
She's jealous and raving in front of, making a scene in front of people. I'm trying to push her away, trying to get away from the conflict.
You can imagine. It was pretty crazy, yeah.
She's mad over me, that's fine.
He got away with it again right now. He just gets away with it.
She thinks I get away with anything, but I don't get away with nothing. You know what I mean? I had to put up with everything.
It's you know, whatever. I'm struggling to pay my bills. I don't make very much money, and it's hard.
Man, I'm used to her being emotional like that.
Be careful next time.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Craddock versus Rodriguez. Step forward.
Small business owner Joanne Craddock is suing her sister, cocktail waitress Deborah Rodriguez, and her husband Gilbert for their share of a Disneyland vacation. The couple says Joanne gave them the money because they couldn't afford to go on the trip.
Miss Craddock.
Yes.
Mrs. Rodriguez is your sister, and I assume this is her husband. Is that right?
Correct.
According to your complaint, your sister owes you for the expenses for a trip that the two families took to Disney.
Yes.
Your sister says that there was never an agreement to pay you back the money that she did in fact use. She had some financial problems. You insisted that she accompany the family to Disney, told you would take care of things, and that this whole thing stems from an unfortunate incident surrounding your father's death. When was the trip to Disney?
November of 2003.
And was it an overnight trip or a day trip?
We were there for a week. Debbie and Gilbert took our van, and we took our other van and drove down, and we stayed at a timeshare for a week.
So far, is that true, that you took their car?
Yes.
And the trip had been planned for both families?
Yes.
So why did it become necessary for you to take money from your sister?
On November 9th, I got in a car accident where it was a 3-car accident. One car hit my car right on the driver's side door. Was taken by ambulance to the hospital. Had to be out of work. The car had over $5,000 worth of damage. So I had to call my sister and tell her that I wasn't going to have the money to go. She really wanted us to go on this trip.
Is that what, did she call you?
At all.
Okay. Tell me what she said when she called you and told you she needed your car.
We had offered her our van, and they would just put the gas in it, and we would take our other van, and the timeshare was already paid for. We each had our own timeshare.
Had you paid for it already?
Yes.
How much was that?
$220, I believe. We paid for that almost a year before we went, so that was all
So
paid
the
for.
room was paid for?
Yes.
So what was the conversation about money that you had with your sister?
They told us that they were low on money, they didn't have any more money, and we said that we would put things on our charge for you, but don't let me have to take you to Judge Judy. Honest to God. And here we are.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And Craddock says her sister and brother-in-law owe for a trip to Disneyland. Deborah and Gilbert Rodriguez claim the money was a gift until a family argument changed everything.
So she started to put monies on the credit card for your family.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think that she wasn't expecting to be repaid when you could afford to repay her?
I couldn't afford to repay her, and she knew that.
I said, what makes you think, considering you are not families who have lots of spare cash, car hit you, I assume that you're suing the driver of that car?
Yes.
So eventually, you're going to either settle that lawsuit or come into some money. Why would you think that your sister, who doesn't have a lot of money, would not expect to be repaid?
Because I called her before we took the trip, after my car accident. I'm a cocktail waitress. I live on my tips.
Yes.
I knew I would not have enough money to do this trip.
And she said to you, what?
She said, I want you to go on this trip, and I'll help you out.
So my question to you is, I'm going to come back to my question. She helped you out. She gave you a car to go down in. Why would you think that you should not send your sister $50 a month and say, listen, thanks for helping me out, my family, we all had a great time on the trip, and if it wasn't for you, we really couldn't have gone. I'm going to send you $50 a month till it's paid off.
It was never alone, and the only time it became an issue, she filed for this suit the day after my father died. And the reason she did that was because she was making everybody very uncomfortable. She hadn't spoken to my father in 15 years. She wouldn't have been at my father's house if it hadn't been for me. I pushed for that because I thought it was only fair that she see her father before he died. And things went very badly. She was behaving badly, and I had to kick her out of the house. My aunts came from Rochester, New York, an 8-hour trip. She wasn't allowing them to spend any time with their brother. The situation became out of hand, and I had to throw her out of the house. That is when she said,
You're going to make my life miserable, I'll make your life miserable for the rest of your life. And the next day, my father died on the 11th, on the 12th she filed this suit. It had never been an issue until that day.
Everything she just said was a complete lie.
Was there an incident that happened prior to your father's death?
My father's wife did not want me around for 15 years. I only lived a quarter of a mile from my father. Okay, so it was my father that died also. So my sister and I are adopted, and we have never gotten along. Okay, we were trying once again to have a family. My sister did work very hard so that I could see my father, and I did spend 36 hours up with him because I had not seen him in 15 years, other than twice in the mall. And it wasn't my doing; it was his wife's doing. You know, she's his wife.
Whatever.
So, yeah. So everybody was in the kitchen. I was staying with my father, not doing anything, and my sister said, "We need to talk." And I, can we do this later? He's got hours here. And I wanted to be with him as much as I could. And all of a sudden she's telling me how she's going to call the police. And I never went to my father's wake or his burial because she told me I'm the one that was making everybody uncomfortable. Stayed away.
That's unfortunate.
But now that my father's dead, he was the pole for us to get together or do anything. And, probably after today, I'll never see my sister because we aren't close.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. But that's not the issue. The issue is there an expectation, an understanding that that money is going to be repaid at a time when you get back to work and your financial situation is improved? I have to determine whether that was your understanding with her.
Okay, can I say something, Your Honor?
You can say something quickly.
There was no understanding on that matter. Would it have been nice to have paid that? Yeah, I think basically, but after this was filed, this frivolous lawsuit, no, I think we don't owe that. We never agreed to that.
Well, let me ask you, if it was nice before, it would
have been nice
for you to pay him back, right?
Perhaps.
Mr. Rodriguez, life is about being a moral person.
I agree, Your Honor.
You're mouthing the words. You're mouthing the words, but you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're a moral person, and if you are unemployed, and you have 2 children, are these your 2 children?
No, but I would consider my 2 children.
He's their stepfather.
Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Where are they?
Texas.
How old?
He's 22.
When was the last time you saw him? It's not an answer.
2 years.
2 years ago?
About 2 years ago.
I mean, don't you wake up some mornings and say, I have a child that I haven't seen in 2 years?
Yeah, I do.
Mr. Rodriguez, listen to me very carefully, sir. Sometimes you're better off not speaking. Do you understand?
True.
Especially when it's not your family.
I understand, Your Honor.
Good.
But it just boils my blood that she's going to stand here and just make silly accusations.
Mr. Rodriguez, she's not making any silly accusations.
I think so.
She's saying that her sister and her husband, 2 able-bodied people, had to borrow money from her. Stop shaking it. Had to borrow money. You use the word borrow. Had to take money from her in order to go on a vacation that had been planned for a year because you, sir, didn't have a job.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, you can always get a job. It's not necessarily the job that you like. When I used to sit in the family court, you know what I would do? On my way into work, I would pass all the places where there were signs that said help wanted. Car washes, grocery stores, fast food restaurants. And I would have a list of those places and their addresses. And whenever a father came to court and said, I don't have a job, I can't pay child support, I would say, I have a list here for you. Because when you make a family, you have to work. You don't rely on somebody else to take care of your business. That's why you're supposed to sometimes, Mr. Rodriguez, keep your mouth shut. Got it? Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $380, that's all.
What is our excuse? You may step out.
It was a great vacation. It was a nice memory for our children.
There was no talk of money until the unfortunate incident with my father.
I had told her, please don't let me take you to Judge Judy. That was the funny thing, and then here we are.
For me to have to deal with all this on top of his death, it was a little too much for me.
I love my sister.
She would not let anybody spend any time with my father. She was right at his bedside. She wouldn't let anybody be alone with him.
Her behavior when my father was dying, throwing me out of the house.
When I asked her to leave, she said, when my father takes his last breath.
I didn't go, like I said, to the wake or the funeral.
She could have gone to the...
Catherine Williams and her husband Marcus are suing dog groomer Don Loeb Jr. for vet bills and lost wages. Catherine says her miniature schnauzer was mistreated while in Don's care.
Yeah, this is case number 323 on the calendar, the matter of Williams versus Grooming Dales. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated.
Mrs. Williams, you took your dog into the defendant's grooming establishment, and it is your claim that he abused you, he abused your dog, you had to take the dog someplace else to be finished, and you're suing him for several $100s. Miss Williams, what kind of a dog do you have?
A miniature schnauzer.
How long have you had the dog?
She's probably about 1.5 years old.
How many times have you had her groomed?
I had always groomed her myself. This was the first time she's ever been done professionally.
Okay, and why did you decide to have it done professionally this time?
She had been bitten by a brown recluse, and we...
What's a brown recluse?
A spider. She had a spider bite on her neck. Once we got her all well from the spider bite, we had decided that we wanted to take her to get a special treatment, just for her pain and suffering, for her own kind of thing, to make her feel pretty for a change.
Dogs don't know when they don't look pretty.
Well, we did.
They don't know if they're not pretty.
Well, their little pink bows and their polished nails.
They don't care about polished nails. Anyway, where do you live?
In Spring Hill, Tennessee.
So how did you find Mr. Loeb's grooming salon?
I had gotten a paper in the mail.
Okay, from one of these freebies that you get in the mail.
Yes.
Good. You called him and said you wanted to bring the dog in immediately.
Well, I told him that I saw his paper, and I explained to him that I would only be down in Columbia for a short period of time. Would it be possible to get her in and out of the time that I wanted?
So he said, fine, bring the dog in?
Well, first he told me that it wasn't possible for the hours that I needed to get done. Told him, okay, thanks for the call. He had a cute article in the paper, and I wished him well with his business. After that, he was like, well, let me think about this and see how we can do it. I can probably even schedule you an appointment so he could get the business. So I was grateful for the opportunity. He was willing to work with me, so I was certainly willing to take the dog for the drive.
So you had a 3-hour window, according to what I read in your paper?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you say to Mr. Loeb when you got there?
I told him that we would be back at about 12:30 to pick her up. He took down my phone number, and when we left, he called my cell phone to confirm that this was the dog that he had to have out within the 3 hours. Told him that, yes, that was her. He said, great, he'd see me about 12:30. So when I came back at actually about 12:45, I just asked him if the dog was ready. He was outside having ice cream, so I assumed that she was ready. And he said no, that he had washed the dogs in the morning, and they were still drying. And I told him, I said, you are aware of the time? And he said, can you give me another 20 minutes? I said, sure, I can do another 20 minutes, but understand that's cutting it very close. So he said, okay, fine. I left for about 20 minutes, and I came back, and he came out behind the partition and asked me, how did I want her cut? Told her she's a miniature schnauzer we had discussed in the morning. I wanted a miniature schnauzer cut. And I told him, I said, you are aware that we are already behind and that I don't have much time left, and when it comes time that I have to go, I have to go. He said he's aware of that. He's doing the best that he could do. He was behind the partition. I could hear him back there. I mean, he was being very rude to my dog.
How was he being rude to your dog?
He was, the way he was, it was like, stop it, stop it. And whenever I got there in the morning, I explained, he asked me what kind of a temperament she had. I told him that I had always groomed her, and I put a muzzle on her myself, that I would recommend and suggest that he do the same thing. When I got there, he told me that my dog did not behave. And I asked him, I said, what dog do you know that hops up on the table and says, please give me a haircut? I mean, I expected her to not have a good time with the clippers against her.
Miss Williams, I thought you told me a moment ago that you were taking this dog in as a special treat for her.
Yes.
Because she had a spider bite, so you wanted to give her a special treat.
Right.
Well, dogs are used to having you groom her, so you take her to a stranger, and you just said to me, what dog do you know that likes to have a clippers taken to? So this wasn't a special treat for the dog, this was a special treat for you.
I guess, so to see her look pretty.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's a special treat for you. Okay, so let's move on. So when he's talking rudely to the dog, go ahead.
Well, he was obviously irritated with me outside when I asked him, since he was outside eating ice cream, I assumed my dog was done. That's when the obvious irritation with him started. When we were inside, I would tell him, this is how long it's been, how much longer is it going to be? A few more minutes, a few more minutes.
Is that the way you was talking to him? You said, how much longer is it going to be just that way?
Yes, I was not, at this point, I wasn't rude or upset.
And he said just a few more minutes?
Yes.
Just a few more minutes. Okay, so?
So I waited a few more minutes and it still wasn't done.
Okay.
And then when it came down to that very last moment where I knew that even if I caught a long red light, I was going to be late. So I just told him, I said, whether she's done or not, I have to take her with me now.
Okay.
So he put her down and he gave her to me, and she was a mess. I mean, she just looked like she had not had a bath. She had puffs of hair on her where there was not other puffs of hair. She was just a mess.
Okay, she wasn't finished. So
Yes.
what's next?
I offered to pay half the bill. I mean, he did half the work, and he said, no, just take your dog and get out of here, and don't ever come back.
Okay.
I mean, he was very rude to me.
Okay, so he told you to take your dog and go and don't come back.
Right. As we were leaving out of the store with the dog, he came running out behind us, hollering obscenities behind us. I took the dog and went straight to my car to lock the door because I did not feel safe. I mean, for him to chase me out of the store. When we got in the car, I realized that my dog's eye was swollen. And then when I got home, both of them were swollen shut. So I called my husband and I explained to him the incident that happened at the store, the fact that the dog was hurt, and we had decided that she had to go to the vet. He called himself to talk to the groomer to find out what happened.
Well, what conversation did you have with him, Mr. Williams?
Well, I called him and I tried to talk to him. I said, hey, what's going on? What happened with the dog? Well, this guy here, he was really rude. He was loud. He was yelling at me on the phone, and I called to inquire about any services that he had done for the dog.
What were you calling to inquire about?
To find out what happened, why she didn't get groomed, why my wife was upset.
Just a second. What does he care why your wife is upset? I don't understand why you called him. Now, if you said to me, I called him because the dog's eyes were shut and I didn't know what happened, if that's the first thing you said to me, Mr. Williams, then I would say, well, that's legitimate. If you take a dog in, and even if it's not groomed the way you like it, and you take the dog half groomed and you leave, so he didn't charge you. He just said, take the dog. You're nutty. I don't want to deal with you or your dog anymore. There's no reason to call him. But if you're calling to inquire as to the eyes, that would have been the first thing you told me.
Right.
But that wasn't the first thing you told me.
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Well, she was upset. She called me.
Who cares if she's upset? He doesn't care if your wife's upset. Only you care.
Right. So I wanted to figure out what had happened to make her upset and what happened with the dog.
Who cares?
She said that she was in pain, that she was not feeling well, that it didn't go well. She had a bad experience.
Who, she or the dog?
My wife did.
And
Not the dog.
Listen to me. Get over it. How old are you?
30.
Get over it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Catherine Williams and her husband Marcus claim dog groomer Don Loeb Jr. abused their miniature schnauzer. Don says Catherine was a nightmare customer.
Okay. Have a vet bill for me to look at and a diagnosis of the eyes?
I do.
Jeez.
I have pictures of the dog as well.
Did you put some sort of cream in the dog's eyes for grooming?
No, ma'am.
What did you use to wash the dog?
We use a cream rinse shampoo, conditioner. The head area is washed with a baby shampoo. It's a tearless, non-toxic shampoo.
Well, evidently this dog did not react well to your tearless shampoo.
I don't know what happened after she left the facility. I don't know whether she was mad at me, got in the car, slapped the dog across the head.
No, Mr. Loeb, listen to me very carefully, sir. That's not what happened. How much after you took the dog out of the grooming salon, Miss Williams, did you take the dog to the vet?
I got her in that day. It was the first opening they had was like 4:45.
Okay, let me tell you, before we get on with this, I'm not interested if Mrs. Williams didn't have a good experience at your grooming salon.
Yes, ma'am.
And if her husband is interested in whether or not she was upset and wasn't feeling well, that's his problem. My problem is with the dog. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You're a big girl. You're 30 years old. You had a bad experience with a merchant? You don't go back there.
Right. I would have understood that if my dog hadn't been hurt. I would have just never gone back. It would have not been an issue any further.
Well, but my problem is your husband. When your husband called him, your husband didn't call him and say to him, you hurt my dog.
Well, I did.
No, the first thing you
The first thing I told you that, but I did talk to him about that.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
Stop poking him. He can speak for himself. Move over. Put your hand down. The first thing you said you discussed with him was your wife's emotional state.
Right.
And I'm telling you, that's not his business.
Right. But we did discuss the dog because I picked her out when she was a baby. That's my baby there. That was the first dog I ever
Then that would have
had.
been the first thing I would have talked about, not my wife not
When
being
she
happy.
called me to see what's up, I had to see both sides of the story. I just can't sit and take her side. I want to know what happened. So when I called him to see what happened, he gave me his side of the story. And after he hung up with me, he called me back to complain to my manager for me calling and complaining about the services that were done on my dog. I thought that was ridiculous. If I get a hamburger at Wendy's, it's not done right, and I go back and complain, they don't call me back and say, well, we're complaining because your hamburger was wrong. I mean, you don't do that.
Mr. Williams, explain something to you, sir. Your wife called you very upset, which made you upset. So you called him upset. He says, well, I don't have to deal with this. I dealt with this lady. She wanted fast service. I gave her fast service, fast lousy service, Mr. Logue, but fast service. I didn't charge her for taking care of her dog. I didn't take such good care of her dog, which is a good reason not to charge her for taking care of the dog. You got the wrong groomer. There's no reason to call him. None. Just make yourself feel better. In any event, you did a bad job, Mr. Logue. I'm a pet lover.
Me too.
And I've been to good groomers, and I've been to groomers that take shears and cut a little too close in very sensitive places, which is what the vet said happened here. I've seen what that can do to a dog. The dog clearly had an adverse reaction to whatever shampoo you were using. Miss Williams, the dog wasn't going to react well to a groomer because she had been used to being groomed by you. That doesn't mean Mr. Logue did a good job. He did not. He was not careful enough with this dog. I'll hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this vet doesn't have any axe to grind, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
Ma'am, I groom dozens of miniature schnauzers.
So?
The underside of the dog, around the abdomen area, it's shaved the same way every time. I didn't see any clipper burn on the dog at all. There was no clipper burn when he left.
Let me tell you something, sir. I credit what the vet says in the vet's report. The vet says that both eyes were inflamed, excessive tearing. It says no ulcerations were found in the corneas. So this is clearly just an irritation from whatever you used on the dog, whatever shampoo that you used. Maybe the dog was allergic to the shampoo that you used. That's possible, but that happened. There was also a clipper burn present around her vulva.
Yes, ma'am.
That comes from you.
I don't know whether Miss Williams took her home. She said she's groomed this dog before. I don't know whether she took the clippers to him or what.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. It happened at your establishment. She didn't take the dog home and look at the dog that's eyes are closed shut, clearly in distress, and decide to shave her. That doesn't make common sense. The only thing Miss Williams has is tends to go on a little bit, tends to be a little verbal, but she's not crazy. You are responsible for her vet bills. Not necessarily to re-groom the dog. I assume you're going to be smart and continue to groom the dog yourself from now on, because at 1.5 years old, it's very hard to retrain a dog to go to a groomer. Should have done that when the dog was a puppy. Then what?
The dog was very uncooperative.
Of course.
It was very hard to groom, and she stood outside in my foyer with her 5-year-old kicking my wall, and the dog went even more nuts. I tried to get this dog groomed.
Then what you should have done, sir, is taken the dog and said, I can't groom your dog.
When she called me a D word, and I don't mean Dallas, I gave her the dog.
Oh, I believe that she cursed at you. You did, right?
I did.
She brought a friend with her.
I know you did, because that sounds really sweet, but I know that you cursed at him.
I did. After I became irritated, I did.
Well, did he curse at you first?
No, he didn't use a curse word.
No.
He was rude to me first.
He was rude to you. He was rude to your dog. Get over it. You're 30 years old.
I understand
But you
that.
cursed at him because you were very fast to tell me that he came out after you, cursing at you.
Yes.
Right? But you didn't tell me I cursed at him.
I did say one curse word.
What?
Ma'am, it's 5 years as a police officer. I don't chase people outdoors attempting to assault people.
I can imagine she irritated you, sir. You have to take care of her vet bills. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $70. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She had a 5-year-old child with her, and the child was kicking the walls, disturbing the dog.
My 3-year-old was playing in the lobby while we were waiting longer than we were supposed to get my dog back.
It was just a wild situation.
I think that it was an unfortunate situation.
I don't know what she did with the dog or to the dog or how much time went by after she left my facility.
I did not hurt my dog myself. My dog left his shot hurt.
That dog was fine when that dog left my facility.
He just didn't handle it the right way.
If I see her face coming toward my door again, I'm going to lock it.
And now,
All parties in the matter of Amperan versus Lyle. Step forward, please.
dental assistant Olivia Amperin is suing her former live-in boyfriend, business owner Alan Lyle, for the return of a barbecue pit and a chair and ottoman set. Olivia also claims Alan assaulted her 9-year-old son.
Miss Apparam, how long did you and the defendant live together?
15 months.
And he moved into your house?
Yes.
And you have children?
Yes, I do have 2.
How old are they?
12 and 9.
Was Mr. Lyle a reasonable companion with regard to the children?
No.
Okay. According to your complaint, there was an incident in September?
That's correct.
Involving one of your children. Was that the 12-year-old or the 9-year-old?
The 9-year-old.
Where you claim that Mr. Lyle hit him.
That's correct.
And you called the police and had him removed from the house. What day was that?
It was the 7th.
And then it is your claim that he came back into the house and he took some of your property. He took a barbecue pit, a chair, and a lamp. And you say that you purchased all these things, you paid for these things. Mr. Lyle says he only took what was his. And you also want some sort of damage because you say that he hit your 9-year-old son, slapped him.
That's correct.
So tell me what happened on September 7th.
It was in the evening. We had come home, myself and my 2 children. We drove up. The door to the front of the house was open. Everything was open. So we proceeded into the house, myself and my children, and I told them because of the situation that we were in, living with Alan Lyle, that just to go into your rooms, don't answer to him, just do what I ask you to do to avoid any confrontation. So they did so. As I proceeded into my bedroom, he was there with a duffel bag. I simply asked him a question as to where are you packing, where are you going? And he started telling me I have no right to ask him where he's going, whether he's coming for me to get the effing with my children, go over there, go sleep with your children, go sleep with your gay son. He's a mama's boy. He'll never amount to anything, and he just kept on with those things. So I went ahead and went out from the room to my son's bedroom, and I comforted him because he did hear these things. Alan then went outside to the garage, and I didn't tell you this before, but when I came home that night, he was under the influence of alcohol and marijuana, and I went outside. We began to argue. He turned around and said for me to get the hell back in the house, go to sleep, and he proceeded again to tell me that if you don't get back into the house, I'm going to go and tell your son how you brought him into the world with your legs spread open.
Nasty things.
Yes, nasty things. And he went into my son's bedroom and turned around and got him up against the bedroom corner and smacked him across the face 3 times. I told him for him to stop or I was going to call the cops.
Why did he do that?
He was angry with just the whole situation of how we were living.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Warren says ex-boyfriend Alan Lyle owes for the return of a barbecue pit and a chair and ottoman set.
So you called the police?
Right, and I do want to say that when he was outside, I was very, very angry, and I know as a mother I shouldn't have told my son to curse at him, but my son did curse at him, and he didn't want to, and so I believe either that made him angry also with everything else, so he came into the house.
There had to be a reason, otherwise there would not be logic to it if he just walked inside and slapped him in the face. So he slapped him in the face because he cursed at you.
Right.
Is that what happened? Is that what happened?
Yes.
No. Now, tell me about the property. Let's start with the chair and the ottoman.
Right, he was given 1 day to come back.
Who purchased the chair and the ottoman?
I did, and I have receipts.
May I see it, please? I'll hear you.
We both went together to Wix and purchased it. Her grandmother co-signed for her to get a Wix card. She picked out the couches. We went throughout the whole store. I sat in every chair. I'm a big guy. I took a picture of the chair. I
just want to know who paid for it.
It was purchased on her credit card, but after the fact that we went home, we moved into our place on May 1st. So we purchased our furniture in May.
Right.
Throughout the months, I had given her $100, $200 here and there, just for the chair. Everything else was on her account, the couches and stuff, because it was agreed that if I was to ever leave, that I would be taking the chair and the lamp.
How did you deal with your finances when you lived together?
She was working, I was working.
How did you take care of the rent?
She paid half, I paid half. I gave her half of the money, and then she would write the check for it in full because she had the checking account.
How much did you give her?
I gave her $750 in rent, and then the agreement was to pay half of the utilities, but I ended up paying all of them.
Did he give you $750 for rent?
Yes, he did.
Who paid for the food?
Both of us.
Is that right?
No, Your Honor. He wasn't working. When we moved into this house together, he was not working. I put down the down payment, and I put the first and last month.
When you moved into this apartment, sir, where were you working?
When we first moved in, I was doing freelance jobs, getting hired here and there to do subcontracting work.
How many months was it before you got a full-time job?
3.5 months, middle of September.
I say November.
So, May, June, July, August, so for 5 months you weren't working. Is that what you're telling me?
4.5 months, yes.
Did you ever make up your half of the rent for those 4.5 months?
Not fully.
Is not an answer.
No, not fully the $750, no.
Why not?
Well, because on top of that, I was taking care of her 2 kids, making sure they were maintained in school, doing their schoolwork. So childcare, basically.
Mr. Lyle, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. You give her back the ottoman and the chair. She bought it. She paid for it in May of 2003. You sitting in it doesn't make it yours, sir. Now, let's get to the barbecue. Who purchased the barbecue?
I did.
When?
In June. I was going to have a 4th of July barbecue. We didn't have a barbecue pit. I went out to Home Depot.
Let me see it.
Down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. June 27th. Yes, sir, I'm hearing about the barbecue pit. Go.
She said that she purchased, that she went there by herself and bought it. That's incorrect.
No, she didn't say she went there by herself, sir.
Yes, she did.
It doesn't make any difference whether she went there with the whole Coxie army, sir, or whether she went there with Ringling Brothers.
That was a Father's Day gift to me.
You're not a father.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're an idiot. Listen, I can't deal. The truth of the matter is, I really can't deal with
Just
it. I'm
because
going to tell you something.
I'm
I'm going to tell you something else.
I am a father.
I want to tell you something else, sir. I don't even trust you to return these items to her in good condition, because I think that you are a less than honorable human being. That's my sense of you, and I've only met you for a relatively short time.
Exactly.
But those people who know me know that I'm a pretty good judge of character. You took these things that didn't belong to you. You sat in the chair, doesn't make it your chair. Because you grilled a hamburger, doesn't make it your barbecue. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,400. That's all. Out!
Thank you very much.
Oh, these are excused. You may step out.
She has 2 kids with separate different fathers, and they couldn't stand her either.
I mean, that's how he is, obnoxious.
She's violent. She has a temper. She likes to put her hands on men.
He's the one who has the police report on him stating that he hit my son, so he's the violent one.
I'm done and over. It's over and done with.
Naval Officer Marvin Brayfield and his wife, Jennifer Jesse, are suing the former guardian of Marvin's son, Carolyn Blake, for filing false charges with Child Protective Services. Carolyn claims Marvin kidnapped his boy.
This is case number 353 on the calendar in the matter of Brakefield Jesse versus Blake. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Mr. Brakefield, this is your girlfriend, is that right?
This is my wife.
This is your wife now?
Yes.
At the time of this, it was your girlfriend?
At the time of it, yeah.
Okay. According to what I've read, several years ago, you had either a relationship with somebody, you had a brief marriage.
I was married to my first wife.
Okay. And that marriage produced a child.
Yes, it did.
A child that your then wife was not interested in raising.
That's correct.
And you took custody of that child.
Yes, I did.
But you weren't either in a position or you weren't interested in being a full-time parent either. So you turned your son over to the defendant for the purpose of care. And Mrs. Blake cared for your son for how many years?
21 months.
And during that 21 months, you were in the armed forces?
Yes.
Where were you stationed?
It was in Point Loma, California, in San Diego.
And Mrs. Blake cared for your son every day? He slept there?
Not full-time, no. She was a daycare provider and a close friend.
You mean your son was only there during the day?
She was there during the day, except for Tuesdays and Thursday nights, where she offered to keep him overnight so that I could go work out at the gym and perhaps get some more personal time.
Other than that, he slept at your house?
He slept overnight at my house, yes.
Is that correct?
No, it's not correct. He was with me 24/7 for the first 4 months. He didn't even come by to visit his son, but twice. That was only after we requested it.
So for the first 4 months, he was with you full-time?
He was with me full-time the whole 21 months.
Does that sound right?
No, it's not correct at all.
Okay. Whether the child was with you 24/7 for the first 4 months or 21 months, practically full-time, you started a new relationship with the co-plaintiff, and you decided that it was no longer necessary for Mrs. Blake to take care of your son, so you picked him up one day from her home, didn't tell her that you did not plan to return him, and took him, I assume, back to your house.
Yes.
Mrs. Blake called Child Protective Services. She tried to contact you. She didn't know where you were. She didn't know where the child was. She called Child Protective Services, and she made a report of suspected child abuse and or neglect. And you did do that.
Yes,
you acknowledged
I did.
that you did that.
Yes, I did, and I was concerned deeply about Cody. He was not ever out of my sight without me knowing where he was more than 2 days.
Just a second. Well, that's what your case is involving. Your case is involving this call to Child Protective Services, which you say were unnecessary and unwarranted, causing you all kinds of grief, and you want to be compensated for that.
Yes.
And Mrs. Blake said that what you really did was amount to kidnapping this child without telling her that you were taking him, without telling her that you did not intend to return him to the home. And she had a legitimate concern about his well-being, and she called Child Protective Services. Right?
That's correct.
So, there's no question that for almost 2 years, Miss Blake was an integral part of your son's life. Is that right?
That's true.
How did he refer to her? Mom. I'm asking him.
He called her mommy because that's how she'd call him mommy. She'd call him mamas. So that it would, what he would say when he was around her.
All I want to know from you is, I want a direct answer to my question. Direct answer to my question, Mr. Brakefield, is that he called the defendant mommy, right?
Yes.
Cody also calls him mommy. He also calls me mommy. He calls a lot of people mommy.
I didn't ask you anything yet. Nothing. How did you find Mrs. Blake?
She was a wife of one of my coworkers when I was at a different command.
You must have regarded her highly if you turned your son over to her.
I didn't have anybody else.
So what you're telling me is you would have turned him over to anybody because you needed a babysitter. Is that what you're telling me?
No. She offered to help me out. I was in a tight situation. She offered to help me out, and I accepted her help.
Mr. Brakefield, you're not going to be able to get away from my question. Either you believed that she was a quality caregiver, or you didn't know whether she was a quality caregiver or not, but you used her anyway.
I believe she was a quality caregiver.
That's a better answer. So, did anything happen during the course of the 21 months that Mrs. Blake was caring for your son that led you to believe that she was not a quality caregiver?
Yes.
Tell me what that was.
There were several occasions where I went into her house when picking my son up from her. There would be dog feces outside of her bedroom or down near her office, and she would tell her son to clean it up, and it would just stay there.
So that happened when?
On several occasions.
How much into the babysitting?
It was probably anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half into it.
Well, you weren't sufficiently concerned about that to take your son out and find a different daycare for him, right?
I thought it was something that I could resolve.
How could you resolve that?
By talking to her and saying, no, I've brought this up to you on past occasions.
So what I'm asking you is, it never reached the point where you felt as if your child was in danger.
Not in physical danger, no.
Well, in physical danger from being in a place that was unclean.
Well, he was allowed to walk around with cleaning products like the dishwasher pillow packets. I brought that up, and I was told, he can't break those open. They're tough to open. You can barely, it's hard to open them, so he's perfectly safe.
When during the course of her babysitting for your son did that happen? How old was he?
It actually happened on multiple occasions. I just kept bringing it up, and so, oh, he's fine. And then one day I get a phone call from her saying, well, I'm not going to let him walk around with the cleaners anymore. He just sprayed 409 into Trevor's eyes.
When did you take your son out of Miss Blake's care?
On the 25th of July of this year.
And what was the impetus of you doing that?
I have a letter that I sent her that listed the reasons why I was terminating her services.
Let me see the letter.
The straw that broke the camel's back was that I allowed her to take my son to Las Vegas because she was going there for 4 days, one of which on the very first day was my dad's day off because my father lives there, and I figured, well, she can take my son to see his grandfather.
Yes.
So the very first day that she was there, it was my dad's day off. My dad did not see his grandson that day.
Right.
My dad didn't see his grandson until the night before they left, and only for half an hour. So I was on the phone with my dad when she walked in the front door. So my dad says, well, they're here. I'm going to see my grandson. I hung up the phone. Half hour later, I called him back expecting to hear, oh, yeah, everything's going great. I'm loving my grandson. I don't get that. I get, she doesn't like you. I said, well, Dad, why doesn't she like me? She has nothing good to say about you. She said, you're self-centered. She says, you're never there for your son. And I said, this is why I had her as a babysitter, because I'm in the Navy and sometimes I do work some late hours and I live 40 miles from work. So sometimes I go home and I sit in traffic for an hour and a half and I don't get there till 6, 7 o'clock at night. And it's not that I don't want to be there for my son. It's just that I had her services so that I wouldn't have to go to my boss and say, it's 4 o'clock, I got to pick up my son from daycare.
Your Honor? Just a second. Okay. So are you telling me that the reason you decided to terminate her employment, by the way, how much did you pay her?
$300 twice a month. My father also told me that...
Don't tell me anything that your father told you, sir, because that's all hearsay. So you paid her a little over $600 a month. Is that right?
He didn't pay for the first 4 months. We got the baby on December 26th. He had nothing, no diapers, no clothes, no items. This is the first baby item I bought him.
Just a second. So what you're telling me, the first 4 months
4 months,
he gave you...
nothing. Not
Is that right?
one dime.
No, that's not true.
Show me proof that for the first 4 months you paid her $300 twice a month.
I paid her in cash. She insisted on it.
And later?
It was all cash. I mean, I paid her by check one time, and she got upset because she said she didn't want to have to make a trip to the bank.
So let me ask you this question, sir. You wrote this after you had already taken your son
out of her
without
care.
telling her.
Right.
So
Your Honor, I have court documents to where Carolyn was so involved in his divorce and so pushy in regards to the care of Carolyn that
Cody.
the attorney actually asked that she not be in the picture anymore.
Doesn't make any difference. I told you once before. I didn't ask you anything. When did you meet him?
In March.
When did you start dating?
March.
And were you dating in April?
Yes.
Where did you live?
In Oceanside.
How did you meet him?
I met him online.
And when did you decide to get married?
June.
So you decided to get married in June, and in July all of these irritants that had been bothering him for 2 years all of a sudden made it so that he took the child out of Miss Blake's custody without giving her any advanced warning. Is that the time frame we're talking about?
That's right.
Right. I got it. So you'll answer me when I ask you a question. Do you have children?
No.
Okay. Is somebody from Child Protective Services currently monitoring your home?
No, they closed the case.
Did I look as if I was looking at you? I was looking at him.
They closed the case and they sent they gave me a letter.
I want to see the closed letter. This letter suggests that they conducted an investigation over a 2-month period and that you now have your child in a licensed daycare facility, but they recommend that he be tested at the Hope Infant program because the daycare provider thinks that the child may have some developmental deficiencies. Have you done that, sir?
I have already.
And what's the result?
The daycare provider thought he might have a speech delay like one of his other brothers did. And I had a representative of the Hope Infant program come to my home, and it was determined that he does not have a speech delay because he's been talking, he's been putting 3-word sentences together and doing just fine.
Okay. Now we're going to get back to my original question, Mr. Brakefield, and that is, why did you not notify Miss Blake that you planned not to return Cody to her care?
Because before my first wife lost her parental rights, we had actually agreed to physical custody sharing. I informed Miss Blake of that, and she got very angry with me and started yelling at me that I was sending my son off to die, and so I figured, not wanting to go through that again and not knowing what her reaction this time would be, I figured a written letter would be the best route to go.
But you took him on July 25th, according to you, and you didn't write this letter, according to the date on the letter, until August 13th. So between July 25th and August 13th, what communication did you have with her?
I had none.
Well, that's wrong,
Except
sir.
when I told her I was going to go to Las Vegas to visit my father, which instead I went to another location, and my father started receiving phone calls from her demanding to know where I was, and my sister said she didn't know, and she was told by Miss Blake that she didn't care about me, she didn't care about Cody.
Don't listen to me. That's all hearsay. I'm asking you what you did.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Ben Brakefield and his wife Jennifer Jesse claim child care provider Carolyn Blake falsely accused him of kidnapping his son.
Mr. Brakefield, you're coming to court today, a man who, because of circumstances, finds himself in a position of having to care for an infant full-time and have a job. You did it with the help of Miss Blake for almost 2 years.
Right.
Then you meet this lady, and I gather from your complaint and from her answer that these two ladies did not get along.
At first they did when I first brought her over
Right
to her
now,
house.
it may be the first minute. After that, they did not get along. And within a month of the two of you deciding to make a life together, you remove Cody from Miss Blake's custody and don't tell her that you're not coming back. And expect her, listen to me, sir, and expect her to just say, well, I guess he decided to take the boy himself. There you go. And forget about it. And some 3.5 weeks later, send her a letter outlining why you took him from her custody. I don't think that's right. So
I wasn't sure what her reaction would be, and I didn't want to risk
all you have to
being
do is
screamed
send her a
at and yelled at.
telegram. I've decided to terminate your responsibilities with regard to Cody. I will not be bringing him back after I return from vacation. I have found another daycare provider, period.
I don't think it would have made a difference in her reaction.
Well, you don't know, but at least you would have done the right thing.
I have several harassing phone calls on my cell phone. She threatened to sue for custody of my son. The time she threatened to call CPS. She called my command on several occasions. There are times that she on several of the phone calls says, I am Cody's mother, and even has a message directly to Cody saying, this is mommy, this is your mother. It's just anybody who's ever read this or heard the messages thinks we did the right thing by getting him out of her care.
Listen to me. I don't necessarily think you did the wrong thing by deciding to resume full-time physical custody of your child. You now had a fiancé who was going to be living with you, so you were in a better position to take care of him. I don't fault you, sir, for removing Cody and deciding to take him back in your full-time charge. I fault you for the method in which you did it. You did it in a heartless fashion. Very heartless. Not only heartless for her, but heartless for your son. He's a 2-year-old child. And the only maternal figure that he's known in 2 years is her. So whether you decide to take him back full-time, you sit down, you have a conversation. And you say, listen, you may like it, you may not like it, but I'm getting married, and I am going to take Cody back. We're going to make a family, the three of us, but I'd like to be able to do this in an orderly fashion. I'd like to be able to bring him to you 3 days a week, and then bring him 2 days a week, and then down to 1 day a week, and you can always visit him so that the transition for my son would be easier. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
If she rejected that, you've at least done the right thing. But you can't do the wrong thing and then come to court and expect me to feel sorry for you because after you did the wrong thing, she called Child Protective Services. What you did was wrong. What you did was abusive to a child who has the only other parent that they know, the one that they're with most of the time, because when you pick him up after work, then he goes to sleep. And that's those days that you're not picking him up because you're going to the gym and taking care of other personal business, right, according to you.
It's part of my job. It's mandatory. It's a mandatory military regulation that you work out 3 days a week.
Great! What does your 2-year-old son have to do with that? All he knows is the only person that's taking care of him is her.
Yep.
And what you did was precipitously and without any thought to how it was going to impact on him, you removed him from the only family that he knew without a transition. And that, as far as I'm concerned, was abusive. And that, as far as I'm concerned, deserves a call to Child Protective Services and say, what kind of person has this kind of judgment? I'm afraid for the kind of judgment that he is exercising with regard to this 2-year-old. You got my drift? I've raised some children, and I have grandchildren, and you're supposed to take the position as a parent that you're supposed to do what's best for them, the children, all the time. Now, it's best for your girlfriend, but what's best for the child. Right. Not even for what's best for her. Right. She's not the issue. You're grown-ups. He's not a grown-up. He's a baby. And you and your first wife put him in a position. You had bad judgment when you picked wife numero uno. I hope that you had better judgment when you picked numero due. I'm not so sure. But you and your first wife, it was your bad judgment picking somebody who wasn't ready to have a family. It was second poor judgment that you had a baby with somebody that wasn't ready to have a family. You find a caregiver who was given your child, who's kept him safe, fed, clean, because he didn't remove him from her custody for 2 years, so evidently her care could not have been that inadequate, sir. And then when you decide to do it, you do it in a fashion that is not designed to ease the transition. As far as I'm concerned, that's neglectful and very bad judgment. So, did you call Child Protective Services?
Yes, you better believe I did.
Good for you. Your case is dismissed.
Why does that excuse you to step out?
He disappeared from his apartment, the child, everything, and just took the baby and left it. And the child didn't speak for 3 weeks because he wasn't around me.
I have the right to decide who my son's caregiver is, no matter how close he is to that person.
They hurt the baby, 120%.
She just became overly bonded to him.
I would like to see Cody as a regular aunt and uncle would be.
She just can't get it out of her head that you're not Cody's mother.
I am the child's mother, not biologically, but every other sense I was.
Some people just have mental problems and can't differentiate the line between a caregiver and a parent.
I raised him for 21 months. He only came once every other week to get him.
I took my son home every night except Tuesday and Thursday nights.
That's not caring for a child. He didn't pay for diapers.
When she took care of Cody, he had a full crib full of clothes.
Formula, nothing.
He had 5 cans of formula. He was doing okay.
He doesn't have his family anymore.
I am Cody's father, and I am his family.
I just hope that Cody's going to be better, and if I don't see him now, I'll see him when he's 18, and he'll know everything.
Cody's going to do just fine. We already got a college fund started for him, and he's going to have a great future.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Pam File versus Childers. Step forward, please.
25-year-old nurse's assistant Maiva Pamphile is suing the father of her child, 26-year-old construction worker Del Childers, for a loan. Del says after the death of their child, Maiva kept the insurance money.
Ms. Pamphile, the defendant was your boyfriend. You had 2 children together. Unfortunately, or sadly, I read in your complaint that one of your children died. One of your sons. How old was he when he died?
10 months old.
This case involves an alleged loan. You claim that you lent the defendant a little over $2,000 to purchase a car that needed some repairs. Mr. Childers says you're just being mean. You collected $10,000 when your son died. You didn't share that with him, even though he feels as if he could have asked you to share that with him. He paid a lot of money over the years to you, and there was never any agreement to repay this money. That's your defense, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just curious, was there an insurance policy on your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Who took out that policy?
I did, ma'am.
How much was the funeral for your son?
$5,000.
Tell me about this loan to Mr. Childers.
Del and I, we've been together off and on since 1996. He moved in January 2004, and he started looking around for a car. He said that he wanted to help me and his other child's mother take care of his kids. So he wanted to get a car.
That's really nice of him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He already owes $30,000 in child support, and I lent him $200 for a down payment so that he could secure the car, and he made arrangements with the owner to come back on the 10th when I could withdraw my money once I got paid again to give him another $2,100. So that was a total of $2,300. Once he got his car, he started coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, not coming home. So, okay, I kicked him out because it wasn't working. So we waited a while. On the 24th, he kept calling me. He wanted to borrow some money to get an alternator.
How much more money did you give him?
Another $140.71 that I took out of my checking account using my debit card.
She used the word loan.
Just a second.
Those were...
Just shh. Do you owe her any money in child support?
I owe the state of California. I don't owe her. The whole time she had that policy out, the child support out on me, we were living together.
So, excuse me, what you're saying is during all the time that your children were born, the two of you were together, were living together?
Most of the time.
What happened when you weren't living with her? Were you sending her money for your boys?
No, but I was working and they were taking money out of my checks.
Do you have any proof of that, sir?
I didn't bring any today. I didn't think we would get that far into it.
How many children do you have?
I have 3.
3 living children. So you had 4.
I have 2 living children. I have 3 altogether.
So you have 2 living children, and now the 2 living children are living in 2 separate homes. You're not living in either one of them. Is that right?
I am living in my youngest child's life right now.
And
he
when
was
did you
cheating on me with her.
And when did you start to live with that woman?
2 weeks ago.
Mr. Childers, it is difficult enough, sir, to raise a child as a single parent. You're not supposed to make it more difficult. You're not supposed to drain money out of that household. You're supposed to put money into the household. Do you understand?
Yes, and I've done that.
I don't care what you've done in the past, sir. That's what you're supposed to do. You made 2 children with this lady. You know, that's your responsibility.
And it is.
Anything can have children. Fish, frogs, camels, elephants. A lot of things have children. Even those animals take care of their children until they're old enough to be out on their own. All I'm suggesting to you is, if you made 2 babies, it's your responsibility to put money into their households, if you're not living there, in order to help support them. You're not supposed to be a drain on the household, and if you can't afford a car yourself, you don't buy it! You understand each other?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I have another child, a 9-month-old, with another woman. When we broke up, you know, that's why she wanted to get me back for all the money she so-called gave me.
Instead of me getting the house that I wanted, I'm still living in an apartment complex that I don't want to live in.
That's an untrue statement. I didn't take a home away from her, you know. She kicked me out before we can actually build up more money to buy a home.
It just goes to show that you can't, no matter what, how much you care about somebody, you can't lend them money.
She can't have me, and that's just how it is.
Provider clerk Lisa Gaviola is suing her former friend, drug and alcohol counselor Rhonda Turner, for damages to her rental car. Rhonda says the car was stolen, so she's not responsible.
Yeah, this is case number 362 on the calendar, the matter of Gaviola versus Turner. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Gaviola, the defendant was a friend of yours?
Yes.
And the 2 of you decided to go on a road trip for something, for business? Was it?
We were invited to a music festival in Hollywood.
And where were you coming from?
Sacramento.
You rented a car, and when you got to Hollywood, you loaned the defendant the car.
Correct.
It is your claim that she wrecked the car, and you are being held responsible by the rental car company.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Turner says she did not wreck the car. She was using the car was stolen, and somebody else wrecked it. So it's not her responsibility. That's your defense.
Yes.
You hesitated. That's what I read. Is that wrong?
No.
Okay. When were you going to the festival?
It was Friday, July 9th. I left from Sacramento around 7.
When did you rent the car?
5:30 that afternoon.
From whom?
Enterprise.
And when you arrived in Hollywood, what did you do with the car?
I lent the car to Rhonda.
Okay. You got the car on the 9th of July?
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened?
Actually, what happened was we drove from Sacramento
Look
to
at me, not the floor.
We drove from Sacramento to Los Angeles, and we
Who did the driving?
The plaintiff.
Go ahead.
And we arrived in Los Angeles, and we went to her boyfriend's house. And from that point, I had taken the car and went home. And we were to meet up the next day.
Went home to where?
To my mom's house, actually, in Los Angeles.
Don't make things up as you're going along, because I'm going to come back to everything that you tell me.
Okay.
And, you know, the only reason you have to have a good memory is if you tell lies. If you tell the truth, you don't need a really good memory, because you can tell the same story over and over again, and it's the truth. Do you understand, Ms. Turner?
Yes, I do.
All right. So you dropped her off, you took the car, you went to your mother's house. Is that the last time you saw the car?
No.
When did you use the car again?
The next day, when it was time to go to the so-called festival.
Did you go to the festival together?
No, we met there.
And you were driving the car?
Yes.
When you left, did you drive by yourself?
Yes.
Where did you go?
To a family barbecue.
Where?
In Inglewood, California.
And did you drive back to your mother's house?
No, not at that point.
When did you drive back?
I didn't drive back to my mom's house from that point. We were at the barbecue, and that's where the car was stolen from.
When did you find out the car was stolen?
Sometime during the day when I got ready to go, went outside and the car was not there.
What time?
Between 7 and 8.
May I see the police report, please, where you called the police and told them that the car was stolen?
I didn't make a police report.
Why not?
Well, I figured the car wasn't in my name, and I figured I needed to get in touch with the plaintiff so the plaintiff could make the appropriate report on the car.
When did you call her?
I called her that same night.
What time?
Somewhere between 8 and 9.
Is that right?
We received a voicemail message on Jimmy's phone around maybe 10.
Who got the message?
He originally received the message.
Jimmy, what's your last name?
Placencia.
You received the message. What did the message say?
The first message I received from Rhonda was that she left a message saying she had wrecked the car. The car was in an accident.
That's not true.
Shh. That's the first message.
Correct.
And the second message?
We had communicated several times during that evening. I called her back and she left a voicemail. And
Did you speak to her when you called back?
yes, I did.
What did you say to her and what did she say to you?
I asked her about the vehicle and what had happened, and she had told me that she had gotten into a car accident, and I asked her about the accident. She said that she had hit somebody, and I asked her, did she exchange information, and there was no information exchanged.
And then the story changed?
And then the story had changed, and then she had tried to talk me or talk us into reporting the car that Lisa was originally the driver. She did not want to take responsibility for the accident. And when I started explaining to her that that would not be appropriate, then her story changed. She didn't want to talk, and we hung up, and then we tried to reach her again, and were not able to get in touch with her.
That isn't true. I called them several times during the night. They did not return my phone calls.
Ms. Turner?
Yes.
I read your answer very carefully, and you say that the car was stolen. My friends and family searched the neighborhood for the car, and finally a friend called and said that they had found the car, but it was wrecked. Where's the friend?
They're not here.
What's the friend's name?
Adrian.
So Adrian found the car wrecked, came back and told you that. Is that what you're telling me?
Adrian didn't find the car herself. Her boyfriend found the car.
Yes.
I got the call initially from her stating what had happened. That was the next day.
So it's different from what you wrote in your answer?
No. My answer says that we looked for the car after we found out the car was stolen.
No, you can't. Finally, a friend called and said they had found the car and it was wrecked.
That was the next day.
All right. How much is Enterprise charging you for the car?
$3,780.96.
You have a contract with Enterprise?
Yes.
Can I see it, please? Okay. Now, you went into a contract with these people in which you guaranteed to them that there would be no other driver driving this car.
Yes.
You had no right to give her the car to drive.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes, I do.
Because if you had put down her name, which you could do, and her driver's license, they would have said, now you're covered if you accepted insurance. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's why you're being charged this $3,780.
Yes.
So, I have to find some sort of a reasonable balance between your wrongdoing and her wrongdoing, because I find, madam, that your story is a crock of baloney. If the car wasn't cared for properly while it was in your possession, you have to accept responsibility for that. You have to accept responsibility. You're not supposed to slough off responsibility. Neither are you. You did the wrong thing. But for the fact that you did the wrong thing, she wouldn't have been in a position to wreck your car that you are now being held responsible for. Do you have a car at home?
Do I have a car?
Yes. Do you have insurance?
Yes.
Well, if you had insurance, the insurance would cover this if you were permitted to drive the car. Do you know that?
Yes. When she rented the car, she called me and said, do I need to get insurance on the car? And I said, yes, it would be the appropriate thing to do.
Your Honor, she had assured me at the time when I had given her keys that she would be extremely careful and that she would be responsible for any damages to the car because she had full coverage insurance.
I don't believe she said that to you. I don't believe she said that to you at all. In any event, I think you're each responsible for half of the damage to this car and half of what you're being charged for. 50%. 50% for doing the wrong thing, 50% for having an accident and not coming clean. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of half, $1,890. That's all. The rest you're responsible for.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm glad that both of us were able to take responsibility of the car.
I'm not going to say that I was liable for the car because I didn't wreck the car.
I'm really just glad that it's over.
I think it was a fair decision.
It's been very challenging.
We got insurance for the car. Had she told the story the way it should have went, she would have been covered.
But we don't want to speak anymore.
If you're going to be honest all the way.
We're no longer friends.
Don't tell half truth.
I think it's about being selective
of the people that are in your life.
Medical Secretary Gianna Hodges is suing her neighbor, housekeeper Regina Smith, for vandalism to her car. Gianna claims Regina's kids, 11-year-old Chardacia Hopkins and 9-year-old Shamara Hopkins, scratched it with rocks.
This is case number 406 on the calendar in the matter of Hodges versus Smith. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Young ladies, have a seat.
Tell me your name.
Micaiah Hodges.
How old are you, Micaiah?
I'm 10 years old.
10? What's your name?
Shadeja Hopkins. Shamir Hopkins.
How old are you?
11.
And you?
9.
Stand up with your mother. You too. Are you a friend of Makia's?
No. No.
Why not?
Because she's always sticking her middle finger up at somebody. She's always getting smart and all her ass.
I didn't understand that. I didn't understand what you said, so you have to say it slower.
Okay. She's always putting her eyes at people. She's always trying to get smart.
Putting her eyes on people?
Rolling her eyes.
Rolling her eyes.
Yes.
She's rolling her eyes.
Rolling? Oh.
I'm trying to understand what your daughter is saying. She's not always going to have you as an interpreter.
I understand, Your Honor.
Good. How is she getting smart?
She's always sticking her finger up at people. She's always saying cuss words and stuff at people.
Really? So what do you do to her when she does that to you?
Pulled her hair.
Now, she didn't pull your hair, did she? Did she pull your hair before you pulled her hair? Make sure you tell the truth. No. Now, were you alone when you pulled her hair?
No.
Who were you with?
My sister and my cousin.
And where were you when you pulled her hair?
At her house.
What were you doing at her house?
She was in front of her house with her friends, and she was supposed to be in the backyard, and she came in the front.
What did you go to her house for?
We play in front of her house.
Why don't you play in front of your house?
Because we be with our friends and...
Because you were trying to annoy her?
No.
Which one of you scratched Mrs. Hodges' car? Raise your hand.
Neither.
Who scratched her car? Well, that's what this case is about. This case is about your two daughters who have been harassing this little girl, right?
Well, that
seems to me, based upon 3 minutes worth of questioning, that that's what's going on here, and I'm only getting a part of the story. Because rolling of the eyes does not equate to putting your hands on somebody else, right?
Well, another child might feel a little differently about being harassed in the window and out the door and out the window when her mother's not paying attention to her rolling her eyes, sticking up her middle finger. That's right, to another child.
Far from the tree. That's what we got. We got an apple that doesn't fall far from the tree. We've got a mother who doesn't say to her children, you don't put your hands on somebody else, even if they roll their eyes or if they say bad words to you, which I doubt happened. Which I doubt happened. But when you have a mother who condones it, then you have trouble. That's what happens. So it's up to you to take control of Smarty Pants and her sister over here and explain to them that you don't put your hands on another person unless they touch you first and you're trying to defend yourself. And if you can't teach that to your daughters, I guarantee you won't be visiting them at their college graduations. Guaranteed.
Well, that's what
guaranteed. That's what I know.
Well,
and I've been in the business a lot longer than you've been alive.
Well, that's what you say.
That's what I know. Not what I say, what I know.
Who said that I haven't taught them that?
Well, you just said to me. That's the way a child reacts if somebody rolls their eyes.
That's a child reaction, but I have talked to my children. They had no business putting their hands on a little girl.
Fine, then that's all you had to say to me.
After all, I am a mother of 6, and I do know how to raise children.
Well, did you punish them for doing what they did?
Yes, I did.
Tell me how you punished them.
You see, I would make them stay in, and they wouldn't be allowed to play at their girlfriend's house, who does live down there in the neighbor's block.
Well, that sounds like you're making it up as you're going along.
Oh,
Mrs. Hodges, let's get on to the car. What happened with the car?
It was in August. I heard laughing outside of my door, and it was a long time with these girls coming down to the house. They went into my yard to get my daughter. That day they were kicking my door and screaming, and they were like, your kids are ugly, hope you drop your little ugly baby. At that time my baby was 3 weeks old. And I went to my daughter's window, and it's at the front of the house. I looked out the window, and I saw them out there. I didn't know what they were doing, and then I saw them run. It was the next morning that I came out and saw that they had scratched the car.
You have a police report?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it?
I also have pictures of the car.
Do you have a follow-up report from the officer?
Yeah, what he did was he spoke to...
No. What I want to know is if there was a follow-up report indicating that the officer spoke to Mrs. Smith and her girls. The officer come to speak to you?
Yes, he did.
And your girls?
He spoke to me.
Did he speak to the girls?
Yes, he did speak to one of the girls.
Which one did he speak to?
He spoke to Shardasia.
Did you tell the police officer that you had scratched the car?
No.
Did you tell the police officer who scratched the car?
No, ma'am.
Did you tell the police officer you were there when somebody scratched the car?
Yes.
What did they scratch the car with?
I think it was a rock.
You think it was a rock? I want you to hold up your hand and tell me how big the rock was.
About this big.
What color was the rock? Black, white, brown?
Brown.
Rough edges, or was it smooth?
Rough edges.
Rough edges. Now, so we know that the rock was about this size, brown, and it had rough edges on it. Now, who was carrying it?
My cousin.
Your cousin who?
Tashina.
And who used it to scratch the car?
This girl named Justice.
Justice has a last name?
I don't know her last name.
Do you know her last name?
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you tell that to your mother?
No.
Is this the first time you're telling your mother that your cousin had the rock and Justice was the one who used the rock? Is this the first time you're telling your mother that? Your mother's looking like, yes, that this is the first time she's hearing that from you.
Yes.
You think that I believe you?
No.
You're right. And you want to know something else? Your mother doesn't believe you either.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. She says her neighbors, 11-year-old Shardasia Hopkins and 9-year-old Shamara Hopkins, scratched her car with rocks. Gianna also says the girls have been terrorizing her daughter, Micaiah.
Young lady, you are always in life going to meet people that are smarter than you are. Because I know that you think that you're a hotshot. You're 11 years old and you know a lot, but you know nothing. So when you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. When you make up stories and you lie, you have to have a very good memory. Do you understand that concept?
Yes.
I don't know whether you do, but your mother does. Can I see pictures of the damage to the car, please?
Well, Your Honor, may I say something?
Sure.
I seen the car, and I stopped and I knocked on Mrs. Hodges' door. And I spoke to her at that time, my daughter and I, and she showed me an estimate or told me that she had an estimate for her car for $255. She said I was going to get another estimate, and the estimate was cheaper estimate. So I said, okay.
$255 is pretty. Listen,
okay,
I'm looking at the damage here.
Well, that's what I would have, thought.
Just a minute. So what you're telling me, what you're telling me, Miss Smith, because it's not what you put in your answer, you don't have a problem with paying for the damage because you believe your daughter did do the damage.
Of course I have a problem with
Well,
paying.
that's not, then the damage is not the issue right now.
Okay, I understand that. But
right now we have to, there are two stages to this process.
Yes,
First, we have to figure out who did the damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I am satisfied that she did the damage. And so are you. So are you. She knows we have a rock this size, brown in color with ragged edges that was used by somebody by the name of Justice, whose name she doesn't remember. And it's the first time since this whole thing happened that she's telling you this story, because before that she told you, I don't know anything. I was there with my friends. I didn't do anything. I mean, coming into a courtroom setting and dealing with somebody who's been around the block a couple of times, I usually get to the bottom of it. The only problem is she's not going to say to you right now, it was me. So she'll make up a story. That's why we went to the rock first. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right. Now, the issue is not what amount is going to be awarded as a result of the damage. The first issue is who did the damage. Because she didn't see who did the damage. She saw a bunch of kids out there These two girls were near her car, which is why she came to you,
Well,
which is why she called the
say
police.
Who did the damage? If
She
not,
doesn't
didn't see who done it.
Just a second. Let me tell you something. She said she had seen the girls and she sent the police to your house. Even if I find that she didn't see the girls, I just got a confession from your daughter. You're not following it, but your daughter just confessed to me that the person with the brown rock with jagged edges about this size, but in somebody else's hand, did the damage to the car. And if you believe that I am going to make this award, listen to me.
My daughter.
Listen.
I believe my daughter.
Well, you do?
Yes.
Did you believe her when she told you she didn't do anything?
Well, she was with her friends.
No.
She was with her
listen
friends,
to me.
and because the little girl don't have any friends,
did you
and she
believe
was
her
with
when
her
she
friends,
said
and she has 10 or 15 friends?
Oh, college you're never going to see. Can I see the estimate, please?
Well, I won't.
No, you won't.
Could I say something, please?
You won't. A detention facility, maybe you'll see, but college you won't see. Say nothing, please. There will always be bullies. There will always be people that travel in packs that do the wrong thing. Right now, that's what your girls are doing. They're being bullies, and they're bullying this young lady. They're bullying her whether they like her, whether they don't like her, whether they think she's good-looking, her mother's good-looking, her baby is good-looking. Whatever it is, they're traveling in a pack, and they're doing the wrong thing, and they are being encouraged by pack behavior and your behavior because you're not taking what they do seriously. This is unpleasant, amoral, criminal behavior, and if you don't take it seriously, I'm telling you, college no, detention facility yes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Like Judge Judy said, they roam as a pack, which is why my daughter is not out there with them.
She calls it a pack. I call it my daughter having friends.
My mother has taught me better than to do those kind of things.
They're out late. They're making noise. They're doing, things. And I don't know if it's not just those two.
No, my children are never out of the house after 8 o'clock.
They actually need to be taught to, not to damage someone's property.
It doesn't matter. My children did not do it. They're innocent.
Former service rep Cindy Blankenship is suing her ex-boyfriend, contractor Robert DiFrancesco, for rent and for trying to strangle her. Cindy claims the assault took place at the end of their month-long drug binge.
This is case number 374 on the calendar in the matter of Blankenship versus DiFrancesco. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Blankenship, according to what I read, you and the defendant met at a bar, and he came home with you the same evening and stayed for a while. And according to your complaint, you had an agreement with him that he was going to pay you rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he stayed with you, 3-4 weeks. He didn't pay any rent. And then you got into some sort of an altercation with him and claimed that he assaulted you.
Yes.
Mr. DiFrancesco says there was never an agreement to pay you rent, that he spent 5 months in jail because you made false charges of assault against him. He was ultimately released, and you want a certain amount of money for rent and $1,500 for this alleged assault.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. On what day did you meet Mr. DiFrancesco?
It was the beginning of May.
In the evening?
Yes.
And you met him for the first time?
Yes, I did.
And he came home with you?
Yeah, we ended up going to my house. We were going to have a drink at my house. 3 days later, he's still at my home.
Okay, 3 days later, did you say? Well, 3 days later, I assume you let him stay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, tell me about this agreement that you allege about rent.
Well, as I said, 3 days later, he's still at my house. He informed me that he didn't have any place to go. He had just gotten out of jail, which I wish I had known that, or else if I had, I wouldn't have let him come to my home. Told me he had nowhere to go, and we had both decided, let's try a fast, instant relationship, see what happens. Told him he wasn't going to live with me for nothing. He said he was a hard worker. He had no problem paying me $125 a week. The 30 days that he was with me, he worked maybe 2 days. All of his money went on cocaine. So that's what basically he felt that he was going to be doing at my house. And towards the end of it, I said I had enough.
Now, towards the end of it, I had enough is what I want to hear about, the night of this alleged assault. I'd like you to tell me in your own words what happened, Miss Blankenship.
We had been drinking at my house that day.
You do a lot of drinking?
Yeah, we had been out.
And he does a lot of drinking?
Yeah.
Do you also do drugs, or you just drink?
I didn't skip back into drugs until I hooked up with Bobby.
So then the answer is, So that the answer is for the 30 days that you were together in your house, you were both drinking and doing drugs.
Yes.
And I assume he was purchasing the drugs.
No, I was. He didn't have any money.
Okay, so you were purchasing the drugs and giving it to him.
Basically, we were doing them together.
No. If you bought them and gave them to him. Is that what you're telling me? Oh. So tell me about the last night that you were together, the night of this alleged assault.
We had been out at one of the local bars drinking. We got I believe it was a 12-pack, went back to my house. When that was all done, we went back out drinking. I suggested that we get something to eat. I was going to get Chinese food. He said, fine, went home. I was getting the food ready, putting it on plates and everything. I turned around. Bobby's leaning up against the counter with his pants down to the floor, offering me something other to eat than the Chinese food.
And?
I was quite appalled by this whole thought at the moment. I went into the living room. I sat down. I figured I'd try and calm down for a few minutes. I went into the kitchen. He's now eating the Chinese food.
By this time, he's dressed himself.
Yeah.
And he's eating the Chinese food.
Yes.
And what happened?
I asked him if he wanted some rice with the food, and I threw a box of beef fried rice at him.
So you assaulted him with the rice?
No, I threw the rice at the floor.
No, your hand motion was...
Well, I threw the rice, but it wasn't at him physically, it was at the floor.
Well, that's not what you say in your complaint, by the way. You say that you started to throw the Chinese food at him.
In his direction.
In his direction. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what happened after you were throwing the Chinese food in his direction?
Well, I ended up asking him if he needed some sweet sauce with it. After that, we ended up getting into an argument. It boiled down to I was sitting at a chair at the kitchen table trying to figure out what we were going to do with this relationship. We got into an argument. He lunged over the kitchen table, grabbed me by the throat, and started to strangle me.
Ms. Blankenship, you left something out, madam, that you put in your complaint. And that was that there was a time that Mr. DeFrancesco just said, I want to get out of here. And that was before you started with the food fight.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to go to the door to leave and get his clothes and leave. And you say in your complaint that you prevented him from leaving.
I, for whatever stupid reasons, didn't want him to take his clothes at the time. I felt that he owed me money for being there, and I figured that we'd straighten it out at some other time.
So you blocked the door?
I blocked the door.
And it was after you blocked the door that he lunged at you?
Shortly after that.
Now, you called the police and had him arrested.
When I could get to a phone, I called the police. He ripped the phones out of the wall.
Now, when did you finally get to the police?
After I got his hands off my throat.
Okay. So he took his hands off your throat, you called the police, and I assume you let him leave at that point.
I didn't let him leave. He went running out the door. This is after he pulled the alarm system out of the wall. I tried calling 911 from 2 telephones. He kept pulling the phones out of my hand, pressing the off button.
At that point, I assume, Miss Blankenship, that you were ready to let him leave.
Yeah.
Now, what hospital did you go to?
I didn't.
So if you didn't go to a hospital, I assume you weren't injured.
I was injured, but there wasn't anything that I felt that they could do to me
that
was going to make the marks go away.
How were you injured?
By him strangling me. I had marks on my arm, on my face.
Did you take any photographs of it?
I have the police report and pictures.
I'd like to see.
Plus, I didn't go right to the hospital, or I didn't go to the hospital because the police wanted me to go to the police station. I was down there for about 3-4 hours.
I noticed that in your statement to the police, you didn't tell the police that Mr. DeFrancesco wanted to leave, or that the mess that they observed in the kitchen of the Chinese food all over the place was the result of you throwing it all over the place. How come you didn't tell them that?
Oh, I don't recall whether I did or didn't.
You didn't. Trust me, you didn't.
Well, regardless of that, he has no right to try to strangle me.
You had no right to try to keep him in the house.
Well, I didn't physically block his entrance from leaving.
That's what you said. That's exactly what you said.
I stopped him from getting his clothing, not from walking out the door.
No, that's not what you said, madam. You said, when I returned, I was still so angry that I started to throw food at him. He was going to get his stuff and leave, but I was too angry to let him leave with his clothes. I blocked the door.
Blocked the door from him getting his clothes in the bedroom.
So why didn't you let him get his clothes? You were both too drunk.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Cindy Blankenship says ex-boyfriend Robert DeFrancesco owes for strangling her Robert says Cindy threw Chinese food at him.
Madam, he'd been drinking, according to you, for days. Drinking and doing drugs for days. All right, I'm prepared to hear you, Mr. DeFrancesco.
Your Honor, I first met Cindy. She's right, I did
I
get out
heard
of jail.
that how you met her. You met her at a bar. You went home with her and you stayed too long.
No, I went home with her, and that night I left. At 5 in the morning, some other gentleman called, and I had to leave, and she brought me to my brother's house. And then the next day, I went to see her. We did some gardening work, whatever. And
Could you look at me instead of looking over there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Off and on, we stayed together for about 3 weeks. I'd see her for a few days. It would be okay. Then she'd start yelling at me for stupid little things, and it would get all crazy. And I'd say, I'm going to leave. So one time she called the police, and I'd already left. But
he was trying to run my household.
Could you look at me when you're speaking, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. When the cops came, they just came because she just wanted me to leave, and I'd already left. So I told her, I said, I'm on probation and stuff like that. I can't have any problems with the police, so I don't think this is going to work out. So to make a long story short, we'd gone back and forth.
You're still looking over there.
Back and forth, and then another time the police came to get me. The same thing. I just left. I had my bag of clothes. It was raining out. I left.
You shouldn't be drinking with her, sir. I mean, but the problem is you're two drunks living together.
Well, Your Honor, the day in question of the day that I got arrested, I was working all day. I was working all day. She was at the bar. She was supposed to be going to get her motorcycle license or whatever, but it got done early. She came home. So then I got upset with her. I'd already told her a few times, if this continues, we're not going to stay together. I can't handle this. You're too abusive. She assaulted me. Your Honor, she assaulted me on other occasions. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. I don't hit women. She was hitting me.
Mr. DeFrancesco, how come you spent 5 months in jail? Were you on probation or parole?
I was on probation, but I was charged with assault with intent to murder, and intimidating a witness.
Okay.
That's what I was charged with.
Okay. And those charges were ultimately tossed.
They were dropped because she pled the fifth, because she didn't want to perjure herself.
Well, for whatever reason, they should have been dropped a long time ago. What had you just been released from jail for?
Assault and battery, malicious damage. I got into a big fight at a bar. I did like 2 years.
Mr. DeFrancesco, may I suggest to you, sir, that you are not a good drunk? Do you understand? You're not a good drunk. And if you're going to continue to drink, I wouldn't take up with somebody who was also a bad drunk. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. How old are you, sir?
I'm 42 years old.
You look every day of it, Mr. DeFrancesco. You're getting old before your time, sir.
Well, Your Honor, I did try to leave. That's why, that's why I feel it's bogus.
Mr. Blankenship, you don't have a case. He didn't try to murder you. You were two
If he
drunks
didn't try to murder me, Your Honor, why did they charge him with attempted murder from the marks all over me?
Listen to
why
me.
did I call 911?
I'm telling you why you called 911, because he finally got fed up with you, and he probably did try to choke you. That's why. That's not attempted murder, just like you throwing Chinese food at him is not assault. You want to drink and do drugs with somebody who also drinks and does drugs? That's what happens. What are you bothering me for? Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I tried to get out of the relationship, and it just ended up being violent.
It's obviously started a different way from him dropping his drawers to the floor and so on, making any type of sexual advances that he wanted to happen. So, I mean, it's insane.
Those are personal issues. That's stuff that normal people do, It's just that it just got carried away.
Him and I being together, drinking, not knowing what kind of relationship we were going to get into. So I wish it had never started from the beginning.
Of course, if you drink and drug, it's going to cause problems, But what she stated, that just shows it's one of her traits, you know what I mean? She just talks crazy.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of power versus power. Step forward, please.
Homemaker Mary Power is suing her daughter, administrative assistant Catherine Power, for the cost of a cruise from New York to Canada.
Ms. Power, this is your daughter.
Yes, it is.
And I gather from reading your petition that at this point in your lives you're not happy with each other.
No, we're not.
So this is what the case is about. Your family was planning to go away on a cruise together, so I assume you all got along. You have children?
Yes.
How many?
2.
And they were going on the cruise also?
Yes.
How many of your brothers and sisters were going?
2. 2 sisters.
And Mrs. Power, what you tell me in your petition is that your daughter paid for the cruise, and then the cruise company went bankrupt.
Correct.
And everybody was really disappointed, and according to what you tell me, I read, you made arrangements for a second cruise.
Correct.
And since the refund hadn't come back yet, you paid for the second cruise.
Correct.
And your daughter didn't pay you back when she got the refund.
Correct.
She says that the second cruise was a gift.
Absolutely not.
That's your defense. Is that right?
Yeah.
When were you planning to go on this cruise, Miss Power?
The first cruise on Regal Cruises, we were going June 29th of 2003.
And where were you going?
We were going from New York to Canada.
Kathy, how much did you pay for that cruise for you and your 2 children? Was it 3 people going?
I paid $906, but that wasn't a full total.
When did you pay that money?
Throughout January to May of 2003.
Great. When were you advised, Miss Power, that the cruise was canceled?
I was advised in May of 2003.
And did you rebook another cruise?
Yes, I did.
For the same period of time?
For the same period of time. Just one day earlier, we were going to leave than previously planned.
And was that a more expensive cruise?
A few $100s more.
So what happened? You went on the cruise in June?
We went on the cruise. We had a great time. I got a refund back in February of 2004.
Did you call your daughter and ask her if she had gotten a refund back?
Yes, I was very excited I got my refund, but she didn't seem to be as excited. And she just called me up a few days later, and she said to me, now she didn't say she got her check back. She said that when she gets her check back, she'd like to use it to go to Florida on another vacation. And I said, absolutely no. I want my money back.
And she said?
And she said that no, she wasn't giving it back to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Her daughter, Catherine Power, owes for a cruise from New York to Canada. Catherine says she's a struggling single mom, and the cruise was a gift.
Give me your version of the events that led to your belief that this was a gift to you.
The first cruise that we had purchased, actually my mom called me and said, would you like to go on a cruise? And I'll help pay for it. And then she ended up paying for my sister Karen's part, but didn't help me. So I was still paying for it because I wanted to go. So I just went on about my time and got a phone call when I was at work, and she said, I purchased a new cruise. So I was like, well, Mom, I don't have money. And nothing came up about the refund check. I don't have the money to pay for it. She goes, don't worry, it's a gift. So that's how I took it as.
Kathy,
what?
Your mother never said to you, don't worry, it's a gift.
She said, don't worry.
I know that she didn't say, don't worry, it's a gift, and you know she didn't say, don't worry, it's a gift. Right?
Right, but she did say, don't worry. She didn't say it was a gift, but she said not to worry.
Right. She didn't say it was a gift. How did I know that?
Because people don't say that.
Sure.
They just...
Because if it doesn't sound right, it's not true. Yeah. So tell me what happened, Miss Power, when you got back your refund from the cruise line in February.
She said she paid for the cruise and that I was supposed to pay her back. And that was not my point of it. It was...
Well, was your point of it? Was your point of it that...
She bought a trip for the family. It was the last family trip. She felt that everyone should go on it because my father was sick and she wanted us all together. That's what it was.
Then, Kathy, would you explain to me, if that's your rationalization for keeping the money, why is it that you testified earlier that from February until May, you were paying the travel agent, and you paid the travel agent $906 if your mother had already said to you, I want to take the family away on a trip? Now, what I think happened that really annoyed you is that your mother, according to you, chose to pay for one of your sisters to go and didn't choose to pay for you. Because you've already mentioned that once, and that, I would say, might fry you a little bit. But let me understand why your mother decided to pay for one sister and not you. You want to explain that to me?
Yes. When my daughter, Kathy, had my grandson, she had to take some leave off from work. She was on maternity leave. And during that time, my husband, Bill, and I helped her with her rent and her car payments to keep her going. And I did ask her at that time to pay me back, but she did not.
Okay, just a second. So, did your parents help you?
They came up to the house when I had Liam and watched Emerald, my daughter, and then she helped me with diapers and stuff.
$1,306 is what you intended to pay. Is that right?
Correct.
Mrs. Powell, even if you decided to go on a little bit more expensive cruise, I assume you would be perfectly happy if you got $1,306 back from your daughter. If she said to you, listen, I don't have the extra money, but here's the $1,306 that I was intending to pay for the first one. I'm going to give that back to you.
I would have been happy.
And that would have been right, Kathy.
No.
That would have been right, Kathy.
Nope.
Listen to me. You have to stop relying on other people to take care of the problems that you create. You create certain problems. You created a lifestyle for yourself. And it seems to me from listening to your mother, who's a pretty rational lady, that you have relied on other people to take care of the problems that you create. And when you listen to me, and when you turn 30, you just told me that. You just told me a moment ago that your parents came to watch your daughter when your son was born.
Correct.
And gave you a little bit of money, a little bit of help. Well, that means relying on other people for problems that you create.
They didn't have to come.
Oh, listen to me. Listen to me. Did you ever hear the expression, beauty fades, dumb is forever? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's all I'm going to say. You owe your mother $1,306. That is the cost of the trip that you had originally said that you were going to take care of. You got a refund for most of it. You should have turned that refund over to your mother by signing over the check to her and saying, thanks for covering the balance. She would have been ecstatic that you did the right thing. You chose to do the wrong thing. And you can't, at your age, do the wrong thing. First of all, it sets a bad example for your children, and that's primarily why you can't do the wrong thing. Because you're supposed to set a perfect example for your children, and then you're not supposed to make your mother come and sue you. Don't say anything. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,306. That's all. Step out.
That is our excuse. Let's step.
Mm-hmm.